Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
You will bring the jury.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy, do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy
They
there.
got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their court.
The fireworks are not done.
I was getting commentary on camera.
Literally not true.
Is that correct?
I didn't ask you to interrupt me. Oh, for Trump's sake. Dati mihi Anglican, praise Verbus Latino.
All right, good morning, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. It's great to have you here this wonderful Monday morning. I'm firing up my PC for the first time. I have not been a PC person, but I made a decision because there's some software I really want to use that's on the PC. We need a spit spat. Oh, we do need a spitting song. We need, and it needs to have like Caspador in it to it, like all good spitting songs have. Still morning here. Wonderful. Good morning and good afternoon. Yes, I've been a Mac fan all this while, and well, we just had a fantastic sale. A fantastic sale on it's not cutting edge, but it's good, and it's good enough to stream in 4K, which is my goal for the channel, and so we saved up. If you'll notice, we didn't buy anything for a couple months, so we saved up for a PC. That's what we were doing. But this one came from Newegg, not a sponsor yet. Newegg, if you're watching. And picked up just a killer deal, which we just couldn't pass up. Fire Girl, handmade by Wendy. Congratulations, you are first in chat. Congratulations, it's wonderful to have you here, and it's wonderful to be back in court in Ohio.
I don't like podiums,
in Warren County. No chat. It's on the screen now. Gotcha. It just took a minute. Anyway, we are back. We are back in the spitting trial.
I was told counsel wanted to see me inside back.
And I'm thinking what I need to do is I need to take that little saying that I had. Let's see. Let's copy that and let's just plug it straight into Suno. See if Suno can make heads or tails of it. We're gonna need a spitting song. We're going to create. Logged into my account. Create song description. That's a long description.
Hello.
All right, I've got the whole thing in the description.
Hello.
Let's just pull the trigger, shall we? So you make it happen. Description is too long, it says. Okay, I've got to take out some of it. Hello. Welcome, sorry. Cindy, you're the moment. Welcome, Red Pen as well. Let's see if we can get some audio from court. None yet. You think country genre is fitting? Is that a jab at country behind Rudy's Fairing? Are you jabbing the country music genre? Just replace the RAM in my PC. This one has 32 gigabytes of 6400 DDR5 or something like that. I'm not sure. Hopefully that's enough. I'm going to let it hear the first thing that comes up. I have to shorten it down. Hang on. Let's see. This might be enough. Let's create.
Bring the jury.
And I think that's coming through. Where's my audio going? I think it's coming through here. Sinister. It's called Sinister Spit Stain. Raw, dark, sophisticated, bluesy, male vocals with a gritty edge driven by slide guitar. That sounds good. The slide guitar and the spit seems to be fitting. Let's give it a second to finalize the songs. Let's give it us two options while we wait for our court case to start again. We still need the defendant and the prosecutor. Can't begin without them. Where's my audio going? It is going to the Roadcaster. Hello. Welcome, Kim. You're thinking a nursery rhyme tune? This is rare. I've never played unlistened to. Like this is a brand new release. So this is our first go, and it might be terrible. If it is, I do apologize. So here we go. Oh yeah. You feel that grit? And that bass kicks.
They say spells let loose, a storm in his mouth. One drop of rage, it all went south. Over second helping, just a plate of stew. The devil's in the details, but the state knew. Spit hit the floor, hit the air, hit pain now. Spells, where's the charge? Like a ball and chain. One bad moment, one slick mistake, and the slammer holds tight. No escape, no break.
I imagine the guitarist on this has it slung really low.
Scientist Fox, her microscope's glare, peering through the spittle, truth laid bare. Every molecule, every twist, every turn. She built the case, made the sentence burn. Saliva stains, it clings, it bites. A fleeting act becomes endless nights. Locked in the book, a record now cursed. One little skirmish, the bubble burst. Spit in the floor, hit the air, hit pain now. Spells, where's the charge? Like
I don't like it.
ball and chain. One bad moment, one slick mistake, and the slammer holds tight. No escape, no break.
Here comes our outro. Every song needs a guitar solo.
The stain don't fade, it don't wash away. Spell sits in the shadows, counting days. One drop of anger, one misplaced aim. Now the story's etched forever in shame.
That was the best verse. If you don't want to sing karaoke after listening to this, do you even appreciate music? There we go. All right. Wonderful. Not very good, actually. That was not great music, but that was a first try. Who was this? The channel is being as successful and world-renowned as we are. We have a standby band that just writes music for us night and day in anticipation of us ever wanting to listen to it. So it was fabulous. The guitar was great. The lyrics needed a little work. So anyway, thank you, Suno, for that one. Not sure if I'm going to give the other one a try. It gave us 2 options. The other one's a little bit longer. So we have a standby band. The night shows, the late night shows, they've got their little band there that plays, the company's things and kicks off the music. It's like that, only a little different. That's what it is. All right. I'm not going to publish that one. It just didn't. It didn't meet the bar. It fell. The trajectory of the song was a little lower. Oh, look at that. Speaking of trajectory, we just got a spam call. Hold tight. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello. Yes. The funny thing is they would hear that. If you had done that, they would have heard the soundbite. Most appropriate playing as attorneys walk in as their entrance music. We have elbow bands. Yes, I like that term. Elbow band.
No. Hello?
Actually, that's playing in a movie during a montage where the protagonist is preparing for an attack. Didn't know your voice changed it up. I don't have a voice changer. And
Hello?
I'm not sure if you've known this or not. I can't do voice impressions. My range, I think it's suitable, but it just doesn't encompass other people's voices. I just can't do it. So you've heard me try to do my old man voice, and it sounds like a drunk Mickey Mouse. Is what it sounds like, I think. But
you don't put a
I might need to get a voice changer just for the calls. Use software. I'm a hardware guy, Ninas. I need hardware to do it. It's the principle of the thing. Your voice impression of an old man trying to change his hearing aid batteries is spot on. That's just I can't hear, and that's easy for me to fake because of my tinnitus issue, where I suffer from. I don't know. I think it's extreme tinnitus. I was trying to figure out how loud is the tinnitus that I have, and I don't know if there's a way to do that, because in my head it seems really loud. I can hear it over a siren that's going by my house, and I can hear it over my voice being piped back into my ears. So is tinnitus measured in volume? Because mine comes in about 70 decibels, I think. And it comes in 2 pitches, higher in the left, lower in the right, and it's not a chord. It's not like a nice, beautiful chord. They're dissonant. Tinnitus. I learned it's pronounced. I don't think tinnitus. Tinnitus. Who said that? Somebody who's never had it, I think. Have you ever seen an audiologist? They have aids for it, like hearing aids. That's why I have a volume control. That's probably why I have it. The soothing sounds of ringing in the ears. Yes, it's quite comforting now. Initially, it was terrifying when I first discovered I had it. I remember that day. And it's always in the background. It never goes away. Never. Like when you finally get a moment of peace and quiet, you get peace but no quiet. That's how it is. So if you don't have it, just count your blessings. One of the many things to be grateful for this week. You don't have tinnitus or tinnitus. Can you just call it tinnitus? Because it's basically spelled that way. Camilla has diagnosed RMA with perimenopause. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that was a thing I could get. I'm glad I didn't get any of the precursors to that one. But here we are. We're ready to go back to court. The judge said 1 o'clock. It's 1:03. We're still waiting for the defendant. Court can't start without him. The only time I don't hear my tinnitus is when I'm sleeping. This might be a terrible confession, but it's easier for me to sleep with sound than with no sound because of the tinnitus. Because when there's no other noises, it sounds like that's the only noise. And you can't, because you can't pinpoint a location of getting louder and softer, you can't really measure how loud it is. So I often will go to sleep with earbuds in, playing something, whether it's watching somebody's live stream, Ian Runkle, Rob, whatever, somebody playing a game on a computer, usually live. And sometimes I wake up in the morning and they're still doing it. So some people stream all night long, and it helps. It helps. I sleep better that way. You need white noise. I just get noise, is what it is. Anyway, this health stream brought to you by nobody, because we don't have any sponsors. So hope you enjoyed the lesson, and please don't take anything I tell you as actual medical advice, because, well, it's not. All right. Use a box fan. I do as well. I have the box fan and the earbuds. So, and I also prefer to sleep cold. Like, I should be chilled in the morning. That's probably just a weird thing, but there's a lovely YouTube channel that plays thunderstorms, puts me right to sleep. Are they close or distant? Because when we get like close lightning, I'm like, oh, there went our tree. And that's what I'm worried about. Fun fact, tinnitus is not an issue with hearing, it's a nerve issue. Well, it's on my last nerve, whatever it is. Same, I sleep super cold. I love it. I'm not crawling under the comforter unless it's like freezing outside. So, Candace, I have no choice but to sleep cold. My house doesn't have a heater. Oh, my house has a heater, but it also is ventilated, so the wind blows through it. Anytime it blows, it blows through the house. The curtains inside sway in the wind, even with all the doors and windows closed. That's just the joy of having an old house. Love a cold room with heavy blankets. Nerve issue can't be fixed. Yeah, I've heard it. There are people that say there's this fix, and if you like hold your head at this way and tip, and then you go that way and this way and that way, then it gets better. It's like maybe for like 30 seconds, but that's about it. All right, waiting for the defendant. Not sure why. Maybe he's at lunch. He's getting his chow. That's why he's late. All right. Super excited about my computer though. Although it's asking for my Microsoft account. And I didn't know I had one. Oh no. Oh no. Denisha's son passed. This is sad. We know that she was that the family had limited time, but there was supposed to be a little more. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please accept all the virtual hugs and support from us. We are so sorry for you. We're so sorry for you and your family's loss. We've got the defendant coming back to court, which means we're about to start. I think he was the last thing we're waiting for. The hair fort has been a
Court
thing.
is back in session. You can be seated.
Okay, you've made some progress as far as agreeing on undisputed items, correct?
Yes, sir. Judge, you heard this morning testimony from Lieutenant Payne, who identified the paper towel that she used to wipe her face with. You're about to hear from the analyst who analyzed the paper towel and the fact that the lab received it. It's my understanding that the defendant is going to stipulate to the chain of custody between LCI, which is Lieutenant Payne, and BCI, which is the analyst we're about to hear from. And as a result of that, Trooper Caldwell would be here to testify about that. With that stipulation, I will not need to call him as a witness.
All right. Is that all stated accurately,
Correct,
Mr. Guyman?
Judge.
Okay.
This is chain of custody, yes.
Okay, chain of custody. And that's for the paper towel?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Anything else?
Nope.
I don't think that needs to be in the jury instructions.
The only reason why I would say this, you never know what someone's going to think. So a juror might say, well, why didn't they have somebody testify about where the paper towel was there between there and there? So I don't know. I mean, Judge, you could just simply instruct them from the bench if you wanted to.
Okay. All right. Let's bring the jury in. After standing up, I've realized they'll probably might have one in the bathroom.
Please
and we'll be
rise.
standing.
This guy's in jail for a host of unpleasant things, including attempted murder, I believe. He's got a few reasons he's in custody. Katia?
You can be seated.
Okay, we are back on the record. The jury's in the courtroom. Were all of you able to follow the instructions that you were given about researching or discussing the case? Everybody was able to follow that? Okay, the attorneys have talked a bit, and both sides are in agreement on some matters that will basically eliminate the need for one witness, and that is with regard to the paper towel, which will be evidence in the case. There's a stipulation, meaning both sides agree it's not in dispute, that was the chain of custody was proper, meaning it was handled properly throughout the testing procedure, and there's no questions about that. Have I stated that correctly?
Yes, sir, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. Guyman?
Yes, Judge.
Do we still get Megan
good.
Fox?
You ready to proceed with your next
Yes,
witness?
sir. State we call Megan Fox.
We get Megan Fox. Okay. This is, I like to say it's the Megan Fox. We have no idea what she looks like. It's probably not anything like any of the Megan Foxes you currently know and love. But until then, we'll say this is the Megan Fox. I'd be a spitting mad if we didn't get it. Greeners, you've been sending so many spitting jokes. I'm worried about your hydration level. Make sure you hydrate. Yeah, not a doppelganger. I can say that much. She is not what I was expecting.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. You may be seated.
Not a spitting image. I missed that one. The setup was there and I missed it.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Please tell us your name.
My name is Megan Fox. Fox is spelled F-O-X.
And how are you employed?
Just like in the movie.
I am a forensic scientist at the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, commonly referred to as BCI.
Okay. Now, BCI is a large organization that has a lot of different components. Is that right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. And one component is a criminal laboratory.
Yes.
All right. And you work in the criminal laboratory for BCI.
That is correct, yes.
All right. Now, what section specifically do you work in the crime lab?
I work within the DNA unit.
All right. Now, if you would, just before we get into the specifics of the testing you did, would you tell us about your educational background, please?
Yes. I graduated from Bowling Green State University with a Bachelor's of Science in Forensic Science and a minor in Chemistry.
All right. And did you begin working for BCI directly out of college?
It was a couple months after, but yes.
Okay. And how long have you worked for BCI?
I started working at BCI in June of 2023.
All right. And then in the time that you have worked in BCI, you mentioned the section you're in. What type of analysis do you conduct?
So within the DNA section, some of my job duties include examining evidence for the possible presence of bodily fluids or DNA, as well as collecting samples, taking notes, and writing reports.
All right. Now, when you said that you, part of the analysis you do is to test materials for the possible substance or possible presence of bodily substances, was that what you were asked to do in this case?
Yes, it is.
And what specifically were you asked to try and determine the presence of?
I tested for the possible presence of saliva for this case.
Okay. So when a piece of evidence is submitted to BCI, how does that happen?
So when evidence is submitted, it will first go through the evidence receiving unit. When it is there, it will be assigned a unique laboratory case number and item number for each of the items involved. It will then be put into a secure evidence vault where only authorized personnel have access to it.
Okay. And when a law enforcement officer submits a piece of evidence, an item to be analyzed, do they also submit an evidence submission form?
Yes, they do.
And what's the purpose of the evidence submission form?
This submission sheet will provide information such as the submitting agency, what items they're submitting, as well as a short background about the case that they're submitting.
All right, ma'am, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 5 for identification. If you would, please identify what State's Exhibit number 5 is for the jury.
This is a copy of the submission sheet for this case.
All right, now you mentioned that each case as it comes in is assigned a unique case number, is that right?
That's correct.
And you see the case number for this case on the evidence submission sheet?
Yes, this sheet has the agency case number on it, yes.
Okay, thank you. And what's the purpose in assigning each piece of evidence a unique number?
These unique numbers help us identify which cases we are looking at and keep them separated from each other.
Now, you mentioned a moment ago how the evidence comes in. In addition to evidence being stored in a locked facility, when you have to test evidence like this, whether it be DNA or looking for bodily fluid substances, you have to take steps to make sure that these items cannot be contaminated, is that right?
That's correct.
So tell the jury, what do you do when an item such as this paper towel comes in to make sure that there's no contamination prior to your analysis?
So prior to my analysis, all items of evidence are packaged separately and sealed, typically with tape. They're put in the secure vault, and we also track the chain of custody so we are aware of who has had possession of these items.
Okay. And then when you take an item out to engage in your analysis, what steps do you take to make sure the item is not contaminated during your analysis?
So during my analysis, I will wear personal protective equipment such as a lab coat, gloves, face mask. I will also clean my workstation with a bleach solution, and I will only have one item of evidence open at my workstation at a time.
Okay. And are those the steps you took in this particular case to make sure the item submitted to you was not contaminated?
That is correct, yes.
All right. So, am I correct that a brown paper towel was submitted to you for analysis in this case?
Yes.
Okay, let me show you what's been marked as State Exhibit number 6. Could you please identify what State 6 is?
So this is the item that I examined for this case. I can identify it by the unique case number and item number that I had talked about previously, as well as the date and my initials that I worked the case.
Okay. Now it's open there, right on top. It's been open today during trial. But did you seal that once you were done with your analysis?
Yes, and I know that I sealed it because on the tape seal are also my initials and date that I sealed it.
Okay. And once you're done with your analysis, does that item then ultimately go back to the law enforcement agency that submitted the item?
Yes, it will be kept in the secure vault until that time, but then it will be returned.
Okay. So you mentioned that in this case, you were asked to try and determine whether there was any saliva on that paper towel you have, stage 6. Is that right?
That's correct, yes.
If you would just tell the jury, what testing would you do to try and determine that? What testing, I should say, did you do in this case to try and determine that?
So the test that we do for saliva is actually testing for a specific component known as amylase. This is the part of your saliva that helps to break down your food as you're eating. This component amylase is also found in other bodily fluids and plants as well. For this test though, I would start by getting a piece of paper that had previously been soaked in a starch solution. I will then wet that paper and press it onto the paper towel. So then any amylase, or if there is amylase present on the paper towel, it will then begin to break down the starch in the same way that your saliva breaks down your food. I will then add an iodine solution to the paper. The iodine will react with any starch present to create a purple color change on the paper.
She licks it.
However, if there was amylase present on the item, it broke down the starch, then those areas where amylase was present will remain white, and then that will be a positive identification for amylase.
Okay. So is that the testing you did of stage number 6 in this case?
That is correct, yes.
And what was the result of your testing in this case?
Amylase was identified on the paper towel.
Okay. And then with amylase being identified on the paper towel, what does that mean?
So there's a positive identification for amylase, but since amylase is found in other substances, not just saliva, it does not confirm that saliva was present, but it does indicate that it is possible that saliva was present.
Okay. And is it correct to say that the outcome of your testing is that it's presumptive that saliva was present on stage number 6?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Just 1 second, Judge.
Yes.
Just one question to clarify. You mentioned you work in the DNA section.
Yes.
Is that right? But the testing you did here is not a DNA analysis of any kind.
No, this was just bodily fluid testing.
Right. And ultimately presumptive for saliva on that material, on that paper towel.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. I have no further questions, Judge. Thank you.
Cross-examination.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Let's get a couple questions for you. So, if something tests presumptive, like positive, presumptively positive or something, that means there was no confirmation, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And you weren't obviously there when this allegation took place, is that correct?
I was not.
Okay. You just received a envelope that had the towel in it. Is that correct?
Correct.
I forgot we need to count these.
And so you're not personally, you don't personally know who took the sample?
I do not.
Okay.
What's our count at?
And at no point did you said tested positive for analyze, is that correct?
Amylase.
Okay. And you stated that that doesn't entirely, or it just means that it's a possibility that saliva is present.
That is correct. Amylase is found in other bodily fluids.
Okay. And at no point did you, well, let me ask you this. Is it also possible if someone were to wipe their face, say with a brown paper towel, they could introduce saliva to that towel?
That is always a possibility, yes.
Okay. And at any point, did you do any sort of testing that would confirm who the saliva belonged to, or presumptive saliva?
I did not. No.
Okay. Okay. And you don't know when the sample, I guess, or when the alleged saliva on the paper towel got there either?
I
on
do
the towel
not.
itself? Okay. So you just know that someone's presumptive saliva was on the towel you tested?
Correct.
Okay. Nothing further, Judge.
Because I have one additional question. Ma'am, once you
Before you
complete
do,
the analysis, you...
Before you do,
Yes, sir.
I have a question. That'll give you an opportunity to
Yes, sir.
clarify that. The law deals in probabilities, not possibilities. Can you state with a reasonable degree of scientific probability that there was saliva on that napkin or paper towel?
Since this test is only presumptive for saliva, I cannot confirm that there was, but based on my training, education, and experience, I know that there was a positive result for amylase, which is a component of saliva, as well as other bodily fluids.
Okay, thank you. Now you can question.
Thank you, Judge.
Whoa.
And once you conducted the analysis you've described, did you reduce your findings to writing in a report?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Can you show us marked as State's Exhibit number 7 for identification? And if you would please identify State 7 for the jury.
So this is a copy of my report. It also includes the unique case number and the list of with the items I examined for this case.
Okay. And the fact that the report has that case number, does that confirm that the item that's in State's number 6 is the item you tested, which the analysis findings are on that report?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I don't have any further questions, Judge.
All right, cross-exam
No,
or
no.
recross. All right, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Next witness.
Judge, with the admission of the State's exhibits, the State would rest.
Okay, any objection to the state's exhibits?
No, Your Honor.
All right, let's
All
just
right.
go over those. Is it 1 through 7?
Yes, sir.
You had a 1A and 1B were, or there was a 1A and a 1B, correct?
Yes, sir. So State Exhibit 1 is this USB drive.
Yes.
1A would be the body cam footage from, Captain Payne. 1B would be the Lebanon Correction Institute surveillance video.
Okay. So exhibits 1, 1A, 1B,
Yes, sir.
exhibit 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are admitted without objection. All right, state rest.
Yes, sir.
All right, anything from defense?
Your Honor, I would make a Rule 29 motion at this time.
I'll overrule that motion.
That was
considering,
the judgment of acquittal.
At this juncture, things in light is favorable to the state. Do you have any evidence to present?
No, Your Honor, the defense would rest.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's
We're
all
done.
the evidence you'll hear in the case.
We're done. Closing arguments. Here we go.
will now proceed with closing arguments. And I'll caution you again, I don't know if cautions, I'll say I'll remind you again that closing arguments are not evidence. They are designed to assist you in evaluating the evidence. You've heard all the evidence. State goes first, and they'll take no more than 30 minutes each.
What? 10 minutes is too much,
Judge.
Judge.
Divide their time because they also go last, since they have the burden of proof. They go first and last. Mr. Goodyear?
Oh my goodness. We're going to do a poll.
Judge. Brady, can we? All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As I told you, this is a very straightforward case. I want to go through my opening portion of closing argument, go through the elements as we talked about that I have to prove and talk to you why I think the state's proven each of these elements to you beyond a reasonable doubt. And before I do that, I have to be smart enough to plug it in. There we go. So there's one count in the indictment, that's it. Harassment with a bodily substance. The elements are, number 1, that on or about June 27th, 2024. So this happened on or about that date. And that's the testimony you heard. You heard from Captain Payne this happened on that date. And I think that certainly there's no doubt as to that fact. So secondly, that happened in Warren County, Ohio. You heard a stipulation, and the judge will tell you that we stipulated both parties that this happened in Warren County. So that has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. The next issue is identification. That it's the defendant who is the one we're talking about who engaged in this conduct. Well, you heard Captain Payne testify when we were watching this video, and obviously from her observation that day as well. But she identified Mr. Spells as the one that spit on her when this act occurred. So we have proven, I don't think there's any dispute as to the fact that that's Mr. Spells. In the video, that's Mr. Spells who the officer identified spitting on her. So I would submit to you that's proof beyond a reasonable doubt of his identification. Next, the next element is that this happened while he was confined in a detention facility.
I've got some more
Here again,
spittings.
from the judge, when he reads the instructions, there's been an agreement, number one, that LCI, Lebanon Correctional, is a detention facility as defined under their Higher Bias Code. And number two, that Mr. Spells was confined in that facility as defined under the Higher Bias Code. So those have been proven beyond a reasonable doubt by agreement. And then the next element is with intent, and remember, please, there are 4 choices here. It's not just intent to harass, which although I think there is plenty of evidence of that, but it's the intent to annoy, harass, threaten, or alarm. If you think his intention was to do any of those 4 things, then he's guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
I think annoying.
Now, this is the definition. Now, as I said before, I'm going to talk to you about definitions. The law comes from the judge. If I make a mistake, I apologize. I think this is all correct. But please listen to the judge when he gives you instructions.
Put the poll up. Sorry,
He's the
I'm
authority
forgetting.
on the law. But he'll tell you that intent, this is the definition of intent in this case. Purpose is a decision of the mind to do an act with conscious intent to engage in specific conduct. To do an act purposely is to do it intentionally and not accidentally. Purpose and intent mean the same thing. The purpose with which a person does an act is determined from all the manner in which it's done, the means used, and all other facts and circumstances and evidence. Now that last portion tells you basically what everyone knows, what Captain Payne said. You can't get inside Mr. Spell's mind and know what he was thinking on that day. But what you can do is use what we call circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence is when you know a fact and you can infer from that fact something else. I'll use a very rudimentary example, I apologize, but for example, you go to bed, there is no snow. You wake up, there is snow. You did not see it snow, but you know it snowed, right? That's circumstantial evidence. Captain Payne was standing there speaking with inmates. The defendant refused to follow her commands. The defendant then spit in her face. I would submit to you that is as simplistic as there was no snow, now there is snow.
There was no spit, now there is spit.
What other purpose? Think about this. He's an inmate at Lebanon Correctional. He's dealing with a corrections officer that will not let him do what he wants to do.
It's a bad
He
argument.
refuses to comply with her. What other possible purpose could he
I'd
have
object.
to spit in her face other than to annoy, alarm, harass, or threaten?
Think about
At
this.
the very
He's an
least,
inmate.
Annoy, right? What other purpose could you possibly have to spit in someone's face other than to annoy and alarm them, at the very least? So I would submit to you, when you look at all the facts and circumstances in this case, you consider all the testimony evidence you're going to have a chance to watch and what you've seen, I think you certainly can conclude that that
I
was
spelled
his
spitting
purpose.
wrong.
The other thing I'll tell you is a judge will tell you in
I need an extra. I
the
put 2 I's in
instructions
one. Only 1 T.
that circumstantial evidence and direct evidence carry the same weight. Okay? Direct evidence is Captain Payne testifying, I saw him spit on me. Circumstantial evidence is he acted this way, therefore I can infer what his purpose was. Those two carry the same weight under Ohio law. So the next element is cause or attempt to cause. So with that purpose, he has to cause or attempt to cause this saliva to be expelled upon Captain Payne. So these are the definition, this is the definition, of cause. It says cause is an act that in a natural continuous sequence directly produces the result and without which it would not have occurred. Natural consequences The defendant's responsibility is not limited to the immediate or most obvious of the defendant's act. The defendant is also responsible for the natural and foreseeable results that follow in the ordinary course of events from the act. In other words, if I spit out of my mouth,
where else
I
are you
don't have
going
to
to
know
do
it's
it?
going to hit your face. If it's a natural consequence of spitting towards someone out of your mouth that you hit them, then you're responsible for that act. He's caused that act. And then an attempt occurs when a person purposely engages in conduct that, if successful, would have resulted in the other person coming to contact with a bodily substance. Now, I would submit to you, based on all the evidence, there's no question that he spit upon Captain Payne. But even if you didn't believe that, even if you watch the video and you're like, well, and one odd thing about the video, I told you in the beginning, you have to watch carefully, and you'll see it here in a second. You see the spit come out of his mouth, and it kind of travels, it seemed to travel down. Now, if you remember, Captain Payne said that the camera in their body worn cameras is a wide-angle lens, right? So it kind of distorts the way it looks. But when you look at those screenshots you're going to have of the spit coming out of his mouth, it is clear as day. Number one, he has a ball of spit in his mouth, and secondly, he's expelled directly towards her. And also think about, when you saw the video, the difference in their height. He is substantially taller than she is in that video. So when you see it going down, it's going at her. But as I said, even if you don't believe
that's not how cameras work.
the fact that he spit towards her
I'm sorry.
is sufficient, because that would be an attempt to expel the bodily substance on her. And then finally, cause another person to come in contact with saliva. And I think, again, we've talked about that.
I think we're about at 100 right now.
By expelling it on the other person. Now, this is a video. And now, like I said, you're going to have this back in your deliberations. You can watch it, obviously, as many times as you want to. But here's the video, again, of what took place.
Go! Go! Go!
Now, not only, when you watch that, you can see the spit come from his mouth, you can actually hear him spit, okay? But then we talk about the still shots I told you about, that you saw earlier. You see it right
You see it?
there.
See it right there?
You see the spit in his mouth right there. That's when he's getting ready to spit.
That's not a real picture. I'm showing
And you can see the spit coming out of his mouth towards the correction officer as he's doing it.
These are great pictures, though.
And the other thing I would mention regarding his intent, you heard testimony about the way that they handle, meaning correction officers, handle lunchtime, dinner time, the way people go in and out of these dining halls.
Yeah, they yell and swear at him.
You can watch that surveillance video. You can watch Mr. Spells. He leaves. He leaves the dining area. And then he circles back around to mess with Captain Payne. He's trying to get back in a dining hall after he's already left one. There's no question that's against the rules. There's no question he can't do that. There's no question he knows he can't do that. She stops him rightly. Now, she told you, there was a lot of discussion in opening about her tone and the way she acted and things of that nature, but imagine you're her, one of 3 corrections officers, dealing with 1,500 inmates. All of them, not all of them, many of them, as you see in the video, trying to skirt the rules, trying to get around what you're supposed to be doing. And she has to control that situation. She doesn't use force. She doesn't do anything aggressive. She is using a tone of voice that's sufficient to control the situation.
Hey, Blackbird, here we go.
The defendant refuses to comply on
Another
more
drawing
than
for you
occasion,
guys.
and then simply spits in her face. And I would submit to you, ladies and gentlemen, that that evidence and that information is sufficient beyond a reasonable doubt to prove he's guilty of this offense, and we actually find him guilty.
Is it manga style?
Thank you, Mr. Goodyear.
Great artwork. Thank you for your son.
Mr. Guyman.
Yes, sir.
The end. Yeah, the end was the best part.
Ladies and gentlemen, when this trial began, I told you this would ultimately come down to one thing, and that is intent. Not reaction, not confusion, not an emotion, not a moment in the video, but what was the intent, what was the purpose, what was the defendant's state of mind if you believe that the spit occurred. Because, again, harassment with bodily substance in Ohio is not spitting. The charge is not spitting. There's more to it. It's purposefully, intentionally aiming to harass, annoy, threaten, or alarm a corrections officer. The law requires purpose, not assumptions, not interpretations, purpose. After all the testimony, after watching the video, and again, as the prosecutor stated, you're going to have plenty of opportunity to review that in the back. After hearing the officer's own admission, the state has not proven that purpose. It's not even close. Let's walk through what the evidence actually showed. You saw the first part of the video. There's 2 inmates that were turned away, and that's only the portion that we saw. The correction officer testified that she had numerous interactions previously where she was in a similar situation, turning away other inmates. Back to back in this situation, the 2 that are on video, the rapid commands, raised voice. She seems frustrated. She seems emotional, and that's only what the camera picked up. Again, we don't know what happened prior to that other than the statement she gave us, but she admitted that she had turned away numerous people prior to the individuals that we see on video. The officer was already elevated before Mr. Spells even walked up. She brought frustration into the encounter, not because of him, but because of everything else she had been dealing with earlier on. That's the environment that Mr. Spells stepped into. And the state testified or stated that Mr. Spells approached the correction officer to try to mess with her. He wasn't trying to mess with her. Even if, what he said, he was trying to go in there and potentially eat more food. That wasn't trying to mess with the correction officer. But there was no, as testimony stated by the correction officer, she was not sure if he had even eaten that day. And as given her testimony, I guess procedure in the prison, if they do not eat and they are late, they go without food, despite them being in custody of the state. Then you see Mr. Spells enter the frame. He's calm, quiet, respectful. He's not aggressive. He's not threatening. He's not yelling. He's not cursing. He's not advancing in any way. He's standing still, trying to talk to the correction officer. Now, she said he wasn't listening initially, but then she kind of wishy-washy, changed her testimony somewhat, said that she didn't know what he said. She didn't hear what he was saying. She wasn't trying to hear it, essentially. But he was saying stuff to her, and you'll be able to see in your video, he was trying to get an explanation as to why she was stopping him, why he wasn't able to go in there and eat. His arms are out like this. I mean, you see in the video, his palms are facing upward. It's a universal kind of understanding of somebody who's confused, not sure what's going on. He asks questions. He's respectful. He's calm, collected. Again, his tone is very kind of mellow, despite the numerous commands that are being yelled at him in a much higher pitch. He's trying to simply understand what's going on around him. The officer never explains. She never slows down. She never resets. She's already shouting before he even speaks. She's shouting the entire time. He's not defying authority. He's trying to understand authority. He's trying to understand what she wants him to do and what he is doing that is wrong. A simple attempt at understanding. You heard in the video she yells, "Go, go, go," and this is after numerous times she's yelled that repeatedly with other individuals as well. Not a calm instruction, not a measured explanation. She shouted repeated command in a tense, loud, confusing moment. And that matters because under those conditions, human reactions are not slow, thoughtful, or strategic. They're immediate, they're instinctive, and they're reflexive, not intentional acts of harassment. You heard her state there too that when she was yelling those commands, first of all, she said that a big part of their training was, she testified, that a big part of their training was de-escalation.
Congratulations.
I don't know how yelling and shouting was de-escalation, but it certainly didn't help things in this situation. Mr. Spells was calm. He was collected. Again, he was just trying to get a better understanding of the situation. It could have been handled, one would think, in a different, a much different approach. But
I think he's a llama.
Regardless, none of his acts were intentional harassment. You see on video, you see what they're alleging is the alleged spit happens. Then Mr. Spells immediately turns around without pausing. He's not running away. He's not, doing anything. He's literally very calmly just turning around, as she was telling him to do. She immediately begins to put him in cuffs. He's not hesitating. He's not arguing with her. She stated on her testimony, the corrections officer stated that Mr. Spells had turned his head at one point while she was grabbing his arms, putting his hands behind his back, and talking or yelling commands at him, quite frankly, as if that was somehow an indication of maybe he's going to do something again. But again, she's talking to him while he's facing the other way, and she's grabbing his arms. It's a natural reaction to see what's going on or to look back if somebody's doing that. But again, he's complying fully with the commands as soon as this, the alleged bit occurs. And so I would just ask yourself, do you think that a person who's intending to harass a corrections officer is going to be obeying her commands? Does a person who's intending to threaten or alarm someone turn around the very instant they're told to? No defiance, no escalation, no resistance. Simply an attempt at trying to understand the situation. Again, this is a situation where there's nothing showing that when Mr. Spells approached the the corrections officer, that he was agitated, that he was angry at her.
I think that the defendant has the hiccups.
Sort of feelings towards her in any negative way at all. He's not yelling, he's not cursing, he's not threatening. He just approaches her. He doesn't escalate anything. In fact, he said nothing at all initially, and the officer confirmed that. There was no words of any sort of kind that were threatening in any way, no hostility or anything. Simply silence and compliance. That's not harassment. The officer also confirmed on her testimony that she's never interacted with Mr. Spells before. She's never had any issues with Mr. Spells. She didn't even, quite frankly, seem to remember him at all. So there was no reason to believe that Mr. Spells was somehow out to get her, or out to harass her, or felt any ill will or negative feelings towards her. Certainly nothing that was captured on video either. Intent doesn't come out of nowhere. There's no pattern here. There's no motive. There's no history supporting the state's theories. She testified, the correction officer testified, that she felt that Mr. Spells was upset. And in her mind, that is why he allegedly spit on her. But that's her interpretation. That's not fact. She also admitted she cannot know what he was thinking. She doesn't know what his purpose is. She can't read his mind. She can only guess. And guesses don't meet the highest burden in the legal system. Intent is not determined by the officer's feelings. The law demands proof beyond a reasonable doubt, not emotion. What the evidence actually shows is Mr. Spell walk up calmly, ask some questions. He's confused. He's got his palms up. He's not threatening her. He's not cursing at her. Did not escalate. Alleged spit occurs. He immediately turns around, complies instantly, says nothing afterwards. No history with the officer. No motive. No aggression. No intent to harm. The officer then, in a moment of frustration, she was yelling before he arrived, yelling during the interaction, yelling afterwards, interpreted everything through that emotion. But again, she was already in a very worked up state and escalated the situation as a whole. There's no evidence of purpose here. The state wants you to assume intent from the moment, but the law says no person may be convicted unless the state proves purpose to harass beyond a reasonable doubt. So you got to first determine whether or not you even think Mr. Spells spit. And we had Ms. Fox, or the state had Ms. Fox testify that the brown paper towel that she received from the officer from the prison tested positive for MLEs. That is presumptive. It's presumptively positive. So it's not even confirmation, but presumptively positive for something that is found in saliva. But it's also found in other things. And then she also testified that even if that were saliva, there was nothing done to try to find out who that belonged to. She also testified that someone who wipes their mouth with a paper towel could very easily introduce that onto the paper towel as well. So we have a presumptive test of something that is not even saliva, that's found in other fluids as well, and we don't know who it belongs to. And there's a very plausible avenue for somebody else's saliva to get on the towel that was tested. And there was no effort done to try to figure out who that saliva belongs to. But even if you believe that Mr. Spell spit and that spit was indeed on that towel, then you have to get over what his intent was. Again, it's not enough, even if you believe that he spit, you then have to meet the other elements. You have to find beyond a reasonable doubt that the state has proven the other elements, and that is what his intent was when that occurred. If you think it was reactive, if you think he was confused, if you think the corrections officer misinterpreted something, or if you think it was, even a very emotional situation, chaotic moment, but that he did not have the intent to harass, annoy, or alarm somebody, then that's not guilty. So after seeing all the evidence, after hearing the testimony and watching the video, I'm confident there's only one conclusion you can reach, and that's the state has not proven their case, certainly has not proven intent in this case, and the law requires one verdict in that situation, and that is not guilty. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gunn.
His heart isn't in it, but he said all the right words.
Mr. Goodyear.
Thank you, Judge. So let me start with this. We talked about in voir dire that, and the judge will instruct you, that the testimony of one witness, if you find them credible, is sufficient to prove a case beyond a reasonable doubt. You saw Captain Payne testify. There was no real effective cross-examination of her. There was no moment where she appeared not, from the evidence, that she was not being forthright or she's not giving you appropriate information. So I would submit to you that while we all also have other evidence, certainly her testimony in and of itself is sufficient to determine that he spit on her and why he spit on her. Mr. Guyman talks about there's no motive. Well, guess what? Motive is not an element of the offense. We don't have to prove motive. That's not something that you should consider. Mr. Guyman says there's no harm. Well, guess what? Harm isn't a part of this case either. There's no requirement to prove there's any harm of any kind. All we have to prove is that he expelled saliva, which Captain Payne told you that. The video tells you that. And the reason why they send these things off for the testing they do is it confirms the other information that exists. It's presumptive for saliva on that towel because you watch her wipe that saliva off her face after she spit on in the video. And it's also interesting, you can't really have it both ways. It's Mr. Spells is so calm and so compliant, so okay, but then somehow he emotionally, accidentally, reactively spits. You can't really have both, right? You can't say I'm this cool, calm, collected individual, and I'm not reacting in any way, and then somehow I don't even understand, accidentally spits on the captain.
Okay, you're prosecuting, you're saying
another
he accidentally
interesting
did
point is two things. One thing she said and one thing you see in the video. She turns other inmates away using the exact same tone of voice in the exact same manner.
They didn't spit at her?
But what do those other inmates not do? They don't spit on her.
Ooh, good point.
She treats everyone exactly the same. She told you why. She told you she does that because she has to maintain control while and she described everything she's having to watch, everything she's having to do. She has to maintain control while this is all happening. And so she uses a firm tone of voice, but she also told you that she could use force on more than one occasion during this event, and she didn't use force ever. Not once. And she could have done that. So this idea that she's out of control and frustrated, she's being driven by these improper thoughts, I guess, I don't know, is not borne out by the facts. She had every opportunity to do more than she did, and she did not do that. She talked about de-escalation, which is exactly what we're talking about. Clear, concise commands, and she didn't resort to the use of force.
Okay, she did not de-escalate. She didn't use force.
She told you
did not de-escalate.
That in 20 years of acting the exact same way towards other inmates, she's never had an inmate spit on her, ever, including the inmates in the video here today. So ladies and gentlemen, I would submit to you that when you think about purpose, think about intent, as I mentioned earlier, and the instructions tell you, you have to determine intent from the facts and circumstances surrounding what happened. And watch the video. She says, go, why? Go, why? Go, why? Every time she says go, he doesn't comply. And the end result of his frustration, of his not liking the fact that she won't let him do what he wants to do, is to spit in her face. And I would submit to you the only conclusion you can come to from someone acting like that in that circumstance, that situation, is that his intent was to annoy, alarm, harass, or threaten. Any of those four. And so based on all of that and everything you've heard, the state would actually find him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Goodyear.
Now your jury instructions. Sloth Life, thanks for gifting 5 memberships. Got a couple generous gifts in there. Samantha, you got one?
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard the evidence and the arguments of counsel. It is now my duty to instruct you on the law that applies to this case. The court and the jury have separate functions. The jury decides the disputed facts, and the court provides you with the instructions of law. It is your sworn duty to accept these instructions and apply the law as I give it to you. You are not permitted to change the law or to apply your own idea of what you think the law should be. The case before you began with the filing of an indictment. The indictment informs the defendant that he's been charged with a crime. You may not consider the fact that it was filed for any purpose. A plea of not guilty is a denial of the charge and puts at issue all the essential elements charged in that indictment. The defendant is presumed innocent until his guilt is established beyond a reasonable doubt. The defendant must be acquitted unless the state produces evidence that convinces you beyond a reasonable doubt of every essential element of the crimes charged in the indictment. Reasonable doubt is present when, after you have carefully considered and compared all the evidence, you cannot say you are firmly convinced of the truth of the charge. Reasonable doubt is doubt based on reason and common sense. Reasonable doubt is not mere possible doubt, because everything relating to human affairs is open to some possible or imaginary doubt. Proof beyond a reasonable doubt is proof of such character that an ordinary person would be willing to rely and act upon it in the most important of the person's own affairs. Your verdict must be based upon the evidence presented in this case. Evidence is all the testimony received from the witnesses and the exhibits admitted during the trial. You may consider both direct and circumstantial evidence in your deliberations. You must decide from all direct and circumstantial evidence taken together whether the state has proven all of the essential elements of the charged offense beyond a reasonable doubt. Direct evidence is the testimony given by a witness who has seen or heard the facts about which the witness testifies. It also includes exhibits admitted into evidence during the trial. Circumstantial evidence is proof of facts or circumstances by direct evidence from which you may reasonably infer other related or connected facts that naturally and logically follow according to the common experience of people. To infer is to reach a reasonable conclusion of fact that you may but are not required to make from other facts that you find have been established by direct evidence. You may infer a fact only from other facts and circumstances that have been proven by the greater weight of the evidence. Whether an inference is made rests entirely with you. An example of direct versus circumstantial evidence: if the question of fact in a given case is whether it was raining, testimony by a witness that he saw rain falling from the sky would be direct evidence of such fact. However, if a witness testifies that he saw water on the window and the ground was wet, that would be circumstantial evidence of the fact that it was raining. Direct evidence and circumstantial evidence are of equal weight and possess the same probative value. In some instances, certain facts can only be established by circumstantial evidence.
I think you shouldn't use the rain analogy here.
The evidence does not include the indictment or any statement made by counsel during trial. The opening statements and closing arguments are not evidence. They are designed to assist you in evaluating that evidence. The evidence also does not include any statements that were stricken by the court or that you were instructed to disregard. You must not speculate why an objection was sustained in to any question or what the answer to that question might have been, because these are questions of law and rest solely with the court. You are the sole judges of the facts, the credibility of the witnesses, and the weight of the evidence. To weigh the evidence, you must consider the credibility of witnesses. To do this, you must apply the test of truthfulness that you apply in your daily lives. These tests include the appearance of each witness on the stand, the witness's manner of testifying, the reasonableness of the testimony, the opportunity the witness had to see, hear, and know the things about which the witness testified, the witness's accuracy of memory, frankness or lack of it, intelligence, interest, and bias, if any, together with all the facts and circumstances surrounding the testimony. Use these tests and assign to each witness's testimony such weight as you think proper. You are not required to believe the testimony of any witness simply because the witness was under oath. You may believe or disbelieve all or any part of the testimony of any witness. It is your duty to decide what testimony to believe and what testimony not to believe. The testimony of one witness, if believed by you, is sufficient to prove any disputed fact. The testimony of a law enforcement officer is to be weighed by the same rules that apply to other witnesses. 7 exhibits and the testimony relating to them have been introduced in this trial. You will decide what weight, if any, the exhibits should be given in light of all the evidence. The exhibits include, in this case, documents, reports, and other physical items and audio. You will not be given any other exhibits during your deliberations. Now, in the sole count of the indictment, the defendant, Javon Spells, is charged with harassment with a bodily substance. Before you can find the defendant guilty, you must find beyond a reasonable doubt that on or about June 27, 2024, in Warren County, Ohio, the defendant, while being confined at a detention facility and with the intent to harass, annoy, threaten, or alarm another, caused or attempted to cause the other person to come into contact with a bodily substance, in this case saliva, by throwing it or expelling it upon the other person. An intent to harass, annoy, threaten, or alarm is an essential element of the crime of harassment with a bodily substance. A person acts purposely when it is the person's specific intention to cause a certain result or to engage in conduct of a certain nature. It must be established, in this case, that at the time in question there was present in the mind of the defendant a specific intention to harass, annoy, threaten, or alarm the other person.
That's the hardest part for the jury.
Purpose is a decision of the mind to do an act with a conscious intent to produce a specific result or engage in specific conduct. To do an act purposely is to do it intentionally, not accidentally. Purpose and intent mean the same thing. The purpose with which a person does an act is known only to that person unless he or she expresses it to others or indicates it by his or her conduct. The purpose with which a person does an act is determined from the manner in which it was done, the means used, and all other facts and circumstances in evidence. Cause is an essential element of the offense. Cause is an act or failure to act which in a natural and continuous sequence directly produces the contact between the law enforcement officer and the bodily substance, and without which it would not have occurred. The defendant's responsibility is not limited to the immediate or most obvious result of the defendant's act. The defendant is also responsible for the natural and foreseeable consequences that follow in the ordinary course of events from the act or failure to act. An attempt occurs when a person knowingly engages in conduct that, if successful, would result in the other person coming in contact with a bodily substance. Now, there are certain matters that are not in dispute. The state of Ohio and the defendant agree that all of the conduct that forms the basis of the charge contained in the indictment filed in this case occurred in Warren County, Ohio, while the defendant was confined at the Lebanon Correctional Institution. The state and defendant agree that the Lebanon Correctional Institution is a detention facility as defined in the Ohio Revised Code, and that it is operated by the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction. If you find that the state proves beyond a reasonable doubt all of the essential elements of the offense charged in the indictment, your verdict must be guilty as to such offense according to your findings. If you find that the state failed to prove beyond a reasonable doubt any one of the essential elements of the offense charged in the indictment, your verdict must be not guilty as to such offense according to your findings. Now, I've instructed you on all the law necessary for your deliberations. And remember, I instructed you earlier about one specific stipulation. I will now instruct you on how to conduct your deliberations and prepare the verdict forms. This is a criminal case. In a criminal case, it is necessary that you have a unanimous verdict. That means all 12 of you must agree before you can bring a verdict back to this courtroom. You must not be influenced by any considerations of sympathy or prejudice. It is your duty to carefully weigh the evidence, to decide all the disputed questions of fact, to apply the instructions of law to your findings, and to render your verdict accordingly. In fulfilling your duty, your efforts must be to arrive at a just verdict. Consider all the evidence and make your findings with intelligence and impartiality, without bias, sympathy, or prejudice, so that the state of Ohio and Javon Spells will feel that the case was fairly and impartially tried. If, during the course of the trial, I have said or done anything that you consider an indication of the court's view of the facts, you are instructed to disregard it. It is my sincere desire to be fair and impartial in this and every case. You may not discuss or consider the subject of punishment. Your duty is confined to deciding whether the state has proven the defendant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. In the event you make a finding of guilt, the duty to decide punishment is placed by law upon the court. It is not necessary for a person charged with a crime to testify. He has a constitutional right not to testify. Therefore, you may not consider, nor are you allowed to discuss the fact that he did not testify in your deliberations.
I'm going to close the poll right now.
When you go into the jury room, your first function will be to select a foreperson. The person you select to preside over your deliberations does not have greater power, nor does that person's vote have any more importance than others. He or she serves the purpose of helping to conduct your deliberations in an orderly manner, to give each of you the opportunity to express your opinion and to ensure that the verdict forms are filled out properly. Upon commencing deliberations, it is not wise to immediately express a determination or to insist upon a certain verdict, because your sense of pride may be aroused and you may hesitate to change your position even if shown that it is not correct. consult with one another, and deliberate with a view to reaching an agreement, if you can do so without disturbing your individual judgment. Each of you must decide this case for yourself, but you should do so only after a discussion and consideration of the case with your fellow jurors. Do not hesitate to change an opinion if you're convinced that it is wrong. However, you should not surrender honest convictions in order to be congenial or to reach a verdict solely because of the opinion of other jurors. You will be allowed to take your notes to the jury room. Notes taken by jurors are to be used solely as memory aids and should not be allowed to take precedence over someone's independent memory. All notes are confidential, and at the conclusion of your deliberations will be turned over to the bailiff for destruction. Now, if you find it difficult to remember all the instructions that I've given you, you will each have a copy of these instructions with you in the jury room to assist you. If there's any variation between what you've heard and what is written in the jury instructions, the written instructions control. Where a term has not been defined for you, you must give that term its common and ordinary meaning. If during your deliberations you have a question, that question should be discussed in the privacy of the jury room. Generally, an answer to a question can be found in these instructions. However, if you need the court's guidance, the question should be reduced to writing so there will be no misunderstanding of what is requested. The foreperson will then notify the bailiff, and the bailiff will submit the question to the court. The question should not reflect the status of your deliberations. You will not be provided with additional reports, statements, transcripts, or other evidentiary documents. Your verdicts must be based solely upon the evidence that was presented to you. Jurors selected as alternates are not permitted to participate in the jury's deliberations unless one or more of the regular jurors is unable to complete his or her service. Therefore, I will ask all 12 members of the jury, if you are physically and emotionally able to proceed to deliberation in this case, please raise your hand.
I need excuse to go to the bathroom real quick.
All right, thank you.
I just need to use the restroom.
Yeah, I've got about one paragraph. Can you wait that long?
Judge,
Okay.
can we have a bathroom break?
Please. Hearing that all of you are able to proceed, it is not necessary for alternate jurors to render further service at this time. Accordingly, Ms. Jamieson, I'm going to thank you and excuse you. When the court adjourns, you will be free to go, but you must provide a contact number to the bailiff so that we can reach you in the case in case your services would be required, such as if someone got sick. You're welcome to stay until the verdict is reached, whichever you prefer. You are instructed that you are not allowed to tell anyone that your verdict would have been, what your verdict would have been until the whole jury has announced the verdict in open court. Anything from the state on the instructions?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything from defense on the instructions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. After you retire,
We have a note.
After you retire, select a foreperson and begin your deliberations. Whenever all 12 jurors agree on the verdict, you will sign the verdict in ink, date the form at the bottom of the page, and advise the bailiff. Until your verdict is announced in open court, you are not to disclose to anyone the status of your deliberations or the nature of your verdict. After your verdict is returned, you may discuss the case with anyone, but you're not required to do so. The bailiff will now lead the jury to the jury room to commence deliberations.
Please rise.
All right, so we're going to start our stopwatch, which might be one of our shortest deliberations ever. This has been a short trial. I mean, we're day one. It's just after lunch. It's 2 o'clock. Okay. The door shuts. It counts. still going out. I know somebody's running to the bathroom, so it's not actually starting right now.
All right. We're in recess. Make sure that Brandy has your number, your cell phone number, if you're not readily available. Anything else anybody have?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay.
No, Judge.
We'll, let me just tell Brittany to make sure the alternate juror is, if she's going to stay, that she stays back here.
Yeah. All right, we've got a timer going, but it's not a pretty one. So the speedometer was over 100 at the end of the case. We sort of lost track there at the end, but that's what usually happens. So we've got it counting up. We'll fix it here in a minute. Do we have any Walsh news? Laura, only that the case is set to start on the 1st. That's my understanding. They caught the Slenderman stabber girl guy. She was a girl. The court calls her a girl. She calls herself a guy now. I don't know what the case is, what that status is, but they caught that person. Let's see. The spittlemeter. How long will it take the dude to pee? Probably less time than it takes to decide this one. I think it's going to be pretty quick. So I'm actually queuing up the music right now, just in case it's ready to go at a moment's notice. They found her in my county. Oh my goodness, Bree, that's crazy. With the 42-year-old man. Oh, somebody she met while she was in prison. What, like a pen pal? What happened? Caught with an old man. There's a problem. It's all a big misunderstanding. I was going to come back. I was going to put the ankle bracelet back on. You can shower, but keep your robe handy, because if you hear the music, you're going to have to run out and see the verdict. The judge should be ashamed of himself. I'm surprised they let her out. And to a correction facility, like a halfway house, like 8 miles from the victim. That's just nuts. All right. That's terrible proof the system is broken. Slenderman case, 2 hours to check on a malfunction of the monitor and no notification to the victim. Oh, yeah. Hey, just a heads up. You're going to find out on the news. The person that tried to kill you is out and in your neighborhood. But we weren't going to tell you that because we don't think you need to know. Yeah, it's a bad situation up there. Let's see. I think they caught her further away, but I think the halfway house they moved her to was close to the like where she was sort of let out to. That was close to everybody else. Does Josh have anything for us to watch? It is a skinny week in court. We've watched almost everything that's happened. Not a ton happening on this holiday week. This week and Christmas week are the two that just, you get more action on New Year's week, like the week after Christmas, than this one. She was found in Illinois, south of Chicago. What are your thoughts about the spitter case? I know 78% of us said guilty on this one. I think there was some area, I think there was room for objection. We only heard one objection. It was from the state, I think. No, there might have been two. There was room for more objections, particularly when the state argued that, look at intent. I mean, look at the guy. He's incarcerated in prison. Think of this. He's incarcerated in prison. That should not be a factor that the jury thinks about. I would have argued for mistrial at that point, telling the jury to base their decision off the fact that he's been found guilty for other crimes. I was a little surprised. This judge is not the worst we've seen, but I was surprised how much he also rehabilitated jurors that should not be on the jury, that literally said, if an officer testifies and someone else testifies and they contradict each other, I will believe the officer every time. That's a problem. That's a problem. Yeah, Texas has some crazy weather. Crazy weather. Don't like the Spitter case. I don't like the argument that the CO was emotional. It was her fault. She was spit on for not de-escalating and not following orders. I don't think the CO was to blame for that. But I think there's a lot of, I mean, you can do some analysis, and there have been some crazy studies done about corrections officers. I think it's easier to find abuses that happen in a corrections facility than in police work. And we know they happen in police work. The abuse of power, I think, that happens there is more prevalent. I'm not saying it's everywhere, and it's not everyone. There are some great officers. We've got a call coming in. Hang on. It's a legitimate one.
Call from
Donald.
Hey, is this Donald? This is R.A.
Yeah, hi, Scott.
What's happening?
Yeah, I want to say a couple things. Couple things with the defense attorney said about her voice being loud.
Yeah.
People don't realize just how loud it gets in those chow halls.
Oh, it's
very
deafening.
loud.
It's deafening.
Sometimes you have to raise your voice to be heard.
Yeah, it's imagine school lunch, but without the padded, sound dampeners on the walls and just cinder block and hard ceiling, and it's an echo chamber with everything is extremely durable and makes noise. Everything makes noise. Everybody makes noise, and it's just like it's a din. It's chaos. But yeah, I hear you there.
And the second thing is the fact that he was trying to figure out what was going on. I mean, come on. He knew what was going on. He knew he was late coming down the gallery into the chow hall and all that. So he knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, we didn't.
I don't buy that either.
We didn't get into it too much, but inmates live on a pretty tight schedule, and it's controlled by the guards, not by them. So if you
well, here I'll tell you how we did ours. Generally, the chow hall will call the cage officer, tell them they're going to be ready for them in 10 or 15 minutes. And then the cage officer would make an announcement over the intercom that inmates to get ready because they're going to be ready in 10 or 15 minutes for them.
Mm-hmm.
So then when the chow hall would call me on the radio and tell me they're ready, I would go to the breaks. We had old style cells, so we had a box for the handle in it that you had to open the box and crank the handle to open the cells.
Oh, wow.
So I would go to the breaks, and I would open the box up, and I would slam the box 4 or 5 times, yell down the gallery for them to get on their doors.
And that's like ringing the dinner bell, right?
Yeah. And then I would open the cells, and they would come down the gallery. Every once in a while, you'd have somebody that was late coming out, or the cells, or that would stop and talk to the neighbor, and then the rest of the line would be in the chow hall, and they'd be coming late, and they were turned away.
Yeah.
They knew what was going on. I'm sorry, but you're late coming down the gallery. That's on you.
Yeah. This wasn't his first day in prison, learning the schedule and things like that. He's spent some time there. And I agree. I think he knew. I don't know. I'm not sure if we heard the testimony. He had at least had an opportunity previously, or should have had an opportunity to eat. I don't know if there was some legitimate reason. I'm guessing there probably wasn't, just because of the way the structure is so regimented that it's not like another guard says, nope, you need to go do this instead. I need you to clean this area. I doubt that happened in the middle of that.
And if that would have happened, then they would have been given a tray,
a pass or something. Yeah. So
yeah.
I hear you, but I think he's guilty. I'm wondering, he's not very involved in his case, right? The defendant's just sitting there. He's not saying a thing, so it's not. I think it's just like rolling the dice and getting a day out. It's like, well, there's a chance, the state might screw this one up and it not stick, and I get a little change of scenery for a couple days.
In my 32 years, I was only spit on once.
Wow. Once is too many.
Once is too many, but more often I had stuff thrown on me. So,
yeah,
that happened about 5 times. But other than that, so spitting's not a big thing, but it's still considered an assault.
Yeah, it is. I hear you.
So, okay, that's all I got.
Donald, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks for the call.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Awesome. Awesome information from the inside, so to speak. This isn't a buffet where you come when you want to eat, you know your time, and you go or you miss out. This is prison. Right. That's the whole thing. I mean, imagine somebody does time and gets locked up, and you find out that it's like, hey, in prison, they have a salad bar, and then they go over, and if they want the salad, they can do the salad, or they can do like the main course, and that rotates through, all these wonderful things. And then, and in the evenings, they've got the library where they can just check out all the movies they want, and they can, they've got their exercise rooms, and they can just spend their days doing that. And at one point, you're like, hey, why are the people who are supposedly paying the debt to society living better than those who are paying the bills for them to pay the debts on society? I realize there's an argument there, but at the same time, it also has to be humane. It's not designed to torture. The whole idea of punishing someone is to, well, there's a couple parts to it, but part of it is to rehabilitate them, so that they in their time while they're locked away, they change their ways, they change their thinking, and they come out and they're like, I don't want to do that again. I'm going to change my life. I'm not going to commit those actions that led to that. But this is not a Wendy's. Yes, this is not a Wendy's. Do we have a poll on how long they deliberate? No, but we're up to 11 minutes so far. Let me sort of make it bigger. I've sort of been sidetracked. We're going to embiggen the poll just a tiny bit. And get rid of those microseconds that everyone loves so much. I hear a train. We don't get many trains here. Like one every other week. It's just a little spur that comes through town. All right. Ooh. Who's coming in? What have we here? This is somebody else. Are they going to handle a different case really quickly? Possibly. Prosecutor's here, but who's the defense lady?
This is not Burger King. People do not get to have it their way.
You don't get to have it your way. There's not much on the dockets today. I can look around for a little bit more. There might be something out of Thurston, possibly. Where's my... I'm missing an Apple TV controller, but I found it. It's right here. Okay, it's even the right one. Doing a quick check. I think we had Judge Heavenly Wood was live this morning. Let's see.
Are we going to address subject matter jurisdiction?
Hey, Outdoor Boys is back on YouTube. I thought he retired from that. Did you guys follow Outdoor Boys? It's a wholesome family channel where the dad basically puts himself and his kids in mortal danger, usually against the weather, and survives.
In front of the Walmart.
It's a great channel. They bought some land in Alaska and just... Josh has something awesome. I'm just looking. McNally was live. Let's see. I was just wondering, this is the first I've seen of Outdoor Boys back on YouTube since he sort of said, hey, we're stepping away. And
hello.
Hang on, Josh. I'm trying to get there.
When are we going to break for lunch, Judge?
We already had lunch. Hey, look, you don't get 2 lunches. Okay, if we learned anything from the spitting case, you don't get 2 lunches.
You don't put a diplomatic plate on a hoopty.
I think I'm about to catch a whooping.
Oh, Josh got a gift? What happened? I have something that lasts about an hour. Start at 39 minutes, 45 seconds of small claim calendar. Look for the name Desi. What trial? What courtroom? Josh? Thurston 3? Okay. Let's see.
I'm not a cat.
Thurston County Court, room 3. And Josh said to start at 39:45. Hang on a second. I'm coming.
Hush!
39:45.
I'm trying to have court. Don't raise your voice again.
I'm not going to argue about semantics here.
Y'all are crazy.
There's nothing in the order that restrains you from talking to cats.
Thank you. I got to stop.
And it was from today?
I don't like podiums, Your Honor.
39:24. All right, let's jump up to Thurston County really quickly and check out what's happening
I got
here.
tons and tons of pictures and videos
Is this the right one, Josh?
and demand names from those folks so you can go down and get a protect. I even had proof where I called the sheriff on a Sunday.
All right.
A couple days ago? Okay.
When's your next court date on the weapon?
It's not that one. Although as spicy as that is, that's a restraining order one from a couple days ago, 39:45.
There's nothing in the order that restrains you from talking to cats.
Thank you.
Okay, let's try this one.
And I did last week what I just did with these folks, but
There's
we're
Desi.
waiting for
Ooh,
Mr. Williams to show up here.
Hang on, let's back up just a tiny bit and see what happens here.
But that's what I'll do. Yes, sir, Mr. Miller. Don't leave yet, Mr. Nunez. Yes, Mr. Miller.
Yeah, so I just wanted to touch real quick on, the anti-harassment wasn't based off of the reviews. It was based off...
Yeah, I read the petition. That was part of it, but it was properly denied. I'm going to leave it at that.
Right.
But that's not really in front of me right now. And
okay.
So anyway, we'll see. You can come at 11, so you don't have to go through the mediation thing again. Yeah, December 5th at 11 a.m. And then I'll give a decision then.
Okay.
I want to review some stuff. I want to research this out a little bit because to see if what I have in mind is something I can do. And we'll reconvene then. And you both are free to go. All of you, all four of you are free to go. See you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Aaron.
And then I see Ms. Larson, you were here last week, and I did last week what I just did with these folks, but we're waiting for Mr. Williams to show up here.
Desi with the big stretch.
We have
and the belly show.
Another case. It's Ms. Duncan and Mr. Moldash or ASAP Movers. Could you come on the Zoom call there, please?
Yeah. ASAP is here.
Hi there. So
Your
give me just a
Honor.
moment. Yes.
I'm just noticing that I remember at the top of your docket when you were giving your initial remarks, you asked Desi with the numbers 39349 to close out that second window. I'm feeling very uncomfortable about that because he did not honor your request to close that out, and he's on listed with a visual picture on another.
So can you close that there, Mr. Haramija?
Actually, I thought I did. I don't see it here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
No, yeah, your sound is coming through one, but then your visual's coming through the other, which I don't understand.
So whatever, yeah, and whatever
So,
he just
ma'am, I need you to
did.
be quiet, please. Please don't interrupt me. So could you turn on? Are you on your phone and your computer?
Yes.
Okay. So can you unmute your phone and talk to me?
And then mute this one?
And then get out of that one. If you're on the phone, you can close out your computer.
Okay.
No, ma'am. I'll get you to you in a minute.
Ma'am, don't interrupt me. Hey, there we go. Looking good, Desi.
Just leave the Zoom meeting on your computer.
Okay, can you hear me?
Better than before.
Yes, but I still can see your computer.
How's
now
that?
I can't. Okay, so ma'am, you wanted to say something? I'm going to swear you in and hear from you, but if you wanted to say something before then, you can.
No, that's it. It's been addressed now. Thank you.
Okay.
She was just
raise your
mad
right hand, please.
Does she have an urn next to her? No, that's
do you swear
a
and
water
affirm
jug.
the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah, I swear.
Yes.
No, I'm talking to Ms. Duncan. Ms. Duncan.
Yes.
Could you? Okay.
Yes.
I'll try it again.
Can you hear me?
Swear? Yes, I can. Do you swear and affirm that the information you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You can put your hand down.
Hello.
Give me just a minute. Call the case up. So this was a moving situation, or what exactly? And you're calling in from Tennessee right now. Is that accurate?
I am. I work from the West Coast, and I'm back and forth.
Well, what happened here?
Yes. So I was moving some household goods from Vancouver,
from where
Washington,
to where?
From Vancouver, Washington to Shelby County, Tennessee.
This
So
judge
just
is sort
right
of-
outside the city limits of Memphis, Tennessee. I contracted with ASAP Movers and Mr. Modesh for that move, and they picked up the items from Vancouver, Washington in what would be known as the first move. No problems. His team in Vancouver did a superb job, so much so they expertly wrapped my furniture using my moving blankets, because this furniture was practically brand new and had no staining, no wear, nothing at all. And they expertly wrapped that furniture for me using heavy duty plastic. I was super pleased. In fact, I tipped all 3 of the movers in Vancouver, Washington at the end of them picking up my household goods.
So they moved them from Vancouver to Tennessee. Is that correct?
His agent did.
Yeah, the company. And then what happened? So then, okay, great. That's the first move. Everything went fine.
Move.
Now tell me, why are we here?
Why are we
here?
So
we're in Washington.
It was when the household goods arrived in Tennessee, before I even left the state of Tennessee to meet my goods, the state of Washington to meet my goods, I talked with Desmond, and that is who Desi is, DESI, on as the witness. I spoke with Desi. Desi was told to me to be my coordinator for the move and to always contact him if there's any problems, and that's what I continue to do. Let him know. And I just realized I went through some of my documentation. I do have a document that states that they were aware that we were going to move to a storage unit and not into a house in Tennessee. And so things were going into storage. I felt that there was no problem because they were going to be there less than 30 days. And, no problem, no harm, no foul, until the driver arrived with my household goods, demanded that I rent a U-Haul box truck so that he could offload the goods, etc., and surrender the truck to him. And therefore, by me accepting all liability for this person who was not listed to drive that box truck. But I did what I had to do.
So hang on just a second here. So the goods leave Vancouver, they get to you, they go to Tennessee. Are you in Tennessee or no?
At the time that the goods came, yes, I was.
Okay.
I made
and
sure
so
that
then you didn't have a place for them? They had to go to storage?
Well, the house that they were going into,
I find this confusing.
They were doing renovations on it, so they were painting the house. So they just went into storage temporarily, and they were wrapped so expertly, there was no problem. The problem came when
so hang on just a second. So let's stop for a second. I just want to make sure I understand this. So they were moving from the truck to storage, and you're saying then that you had to get a intervening U-Haul truck that you had to pay for to get it from wherever the truck was to storage?
Yes, it was at so the goods
Okay.
arrived on an 18-wheeler, which I understand to be standard practice. And so I secured with intention a storage facility that could accommodate that 18-wheeler. Spoke with the manager of that property several times, and she assured me, oh yes, we always have 18-wheelers come right in here and are able to make the turns and all of that. And she even tried to talk to this driver and the driver helper that arrived with my household goods, but they just would not have it. So I did what I needed to do, just trying to, I prayed, I did what I needed to do, went and rented that box truck. And then, he realizes, well, he can get the 18-wheeler down in the storage unit. And so he does. But I still had the charges for
Hang on
that
just a second.
U-Haul box
Stop.
truck.
Did you ever use the U-Haul truck?
He did not drive. After driving the truck to the storage facility, he did not ever put any of my goods in that truck. But I was,
But you
they
incurred a cost for the
pre-charged for
U-Haul
that.
truck. And how much was
Absolutely. It was
$14.95.
3
No, there's U of 5.
U-Haul. Yeah, $36 and some change, sir.
Is that why we're here?
Okay. So go ahead.
Your filing fee is more than that.
Okay, so what happened was the driver and his helper unwrapped my furniture to my utter disbelief. They had a truck that was packed with at least 6 or 7 families' household goods, and they had to unpack what appeared to be half of the truck in order to access my household goods. I had such a small amount of household goods. And because, I'm bi-coastal. So it wasn't like I was moving my whole house. I was moving some items to Tennessee because I am bi-coastal. And
is that a thing?
They unwrapped my things, and I could not believe it. So refer to the exhibit with the voicemail. That's exhibit 7, where Desi, my move coordinator from ASAP Moving, says in the voicemail, Kendra, I'm just trying to get some clarity here because we don't normally unwrap furniture when it's going directly into storage. But my furniture was actually unwrapped and therefore became ruined because we're talking about a dank, dark storage facility, a very old storage facility, and
dank and dark.
My pristine furniture.
It was the dark.
Yeah, I just ended up having to buy additional furniture.
Scares the finish right off furniture.
The total cost that I was out for repurchasing furniture, for having to rent a storage facility for several months until I just finally decided to cut my losses and just donate the furniture and give it away, $10,415.88, of which, because they did move the majority of my household goods without any issues. But I am asking for compensation for my goods that were ruined because his agents unwrapped my goods and then refused to rewrap them. And again, if you refer to the text messages, Desi indicates, let him know and he will have the guys rewrap the furniture. And I did. And Desmond was unresponsive during the move as it got increasingly hostile from the driver and the driver helper. And we're talking about fall of the year when these guys showed up. I was with them probably since 10 that morning, as it is approaching then 5 o'clock at night. Well, that's pitch black dark. And I am by myself. And so it just became a very hostile situation. The police were called and they came out and deemed it a civil matter. And,
wait, why were the police called again?
Because it became very hostile. I had already
Between
paid
who?
them because
tell me that again. Who was
it became hostile. The driver and his helper were very aggressive towards me, and I was there by myself, and dark was falling quickly because it was the fall.
We might need another song.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
So, okay, so what actually was ruined, the furniture?
Yes, sir. So it was my queen mattress, my queen adjustable bed base. It's an electric bed base, my couch, and my oversized matching chair and ottoman, and a headboard.
That's 10 grand?
And those are things that total is $4,215.77. That's that exhibit?
Yes, in that exhibit, yes, sir. Well, I listed the other mattress there. Again, I'm not asking for all of those items to be reimbursed because I was trying to be fair, but so I listed out the things that I had receipts for, etc., and then listed the price, and then also showed you in another exhibit the replacement cost on the furniture, which again, I still did not ask Mr. Kazbek Modash. Still did not ask him to reimburse me all of those costs. I simply asked for a fraction of that, $3,750 plus court costs. And filing and to provide service. We had difficulty locating Mr. Modash. And so they served him, attempted to serve him first in Olympia, and then finally found him in Lacey. So those were additional fees that I had to pay.
Give me just a moment. And then Mr. So in your note claim, you're asking for $3,750. Can you break down how you get that number?
I arrived at that number based on, first of all, because of the inflated cubic footage that they charged me for the move. I had reserved 3 storage units. I just simply followed the directions I was given by Desi, who was the agent.
So hang on just a second. How much money was that?
So give me just a second, sir.
She's got a bed,
the storage fees,
an ottoman.
So there were 3 units.
She gets 3 storage
units?
$126
a month from September to January, and then $21.94 to get into those units, $33 charge, I think, for locks on those units. And so as soon as they started—
is that itemized anywhere in your submissions? Because I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's in it's itemized as these things can be. It's listed on Your Honor, it's listed on exhibit. I'm floating through windows here. Exhibit 3, storage fees. And
hang on just a second, ma'am. Okay, hang on just a second. On exhibit number, you have total payments for $5,914, and then you have the insurance, the furniture. You have total that at $2,713, and then you have the storage fees at, I don't know what that says. That just says, well,
the storage fees that I paid out to date,
so that's like 126. So that doesn't, when you add all that up, it doesn't equal what you have on your claim. That's what I'm trying to figure out. How do you arrive at your
The rest is pain and suffering.
The storage fees equal $474.88 as listed on that exhibit. But again, sir, I did have household goods that in fact needed to be stored there for about a month. Wow. So again, I was trying to be fair.
Okay. What I'm asking you to do is itemize and break down all you think you need to be. You're asking for whatever I said, $3,700. I need you to break down and itemize how you get to that number.
Okay.
And then give me and say, okay, storage fees, this amount, furniture, this amount, U-Haul this amount, and then I want to know exactly how you come up with that number of 3750. That's
Okay.
what I actually need to know that.
Okay, so I have some figures for you, but I will try to break it down as you just described it, sir. So U-Haul $36.43.
Right.
She starts with the tiny
furniture
one.
replacement
$36.40.
$2,750 based off of exhibit.
Can somebody do the math on all this so we can get the grand total? It's important for the song.
Just 1 second, sir. Exhibit 6, which is the furniture replacement cost.
Right, but hang on, I'm going to stop you there for a second, because that you just told me it was 2750, but the furniture replacement is 40. You have 4,215 and 77. So why and how is that discounted?
Because I just discounted it myself. I'm not trying to stick it to the defendant. I bought a couch that was more expensive than my previous couch, but things are more expensive. Again, I was trying to be what is fair. I purchased 2 chairs versus the 1 chair that I had previously. They got ruined because it was unwrapped, and the ottoman, etc. So
hang on just a second. I have another question for you. That
yes,
before you do that, how was your furniture ruined? I don't understand that either.
Yes,
I mean, I've had furniture that's been in storage that hasn't been wrapped, and it's not heated, but it doesn't get ruined. I'm having trouble with that too.
Yeah, the furniture was in fact ruined because the dampness, you could feel the dampness as you went into the storage unit. And it just is. My furniture was pristinely wrapped though, wrapped with care. Did not, in fact, I lauded Cassie Beck and ASAP Moving and tipped each of those movers for expertly wrapping my furniture and my goods. And again, it was his agent in Tennessee, the driver and his helper that unwrapped the furniture and then refused to wrap it.
Just because it's damp, I guess I'm confused about
damp.
Dark.
Yeah, there was a rodent problem
too.
on the property, and
Well, I don't know. Sir, that's why I'm asking.
Yes, sir. There was a rodent problem. It just makes me a little emotional. I'm sorry, sir. There's a rodent problem on the property. The smells, all of that. I have severe allergy and sinus issues. It was not furniture that I could use.
All right.
It just wasn't.
Hang on just a second.
And I didn't give it to them in that condition.
Let's see, Mr. Williams on the iPhone.
Did they rent the storage units, or did she rent the storage units?
So there's someone on the iPhone on the Zoom call. Who was that?
Oh, Judge, that's me. Sorry,
Mr. Williams.
Williams, Your Honor.
Just kidding.
All right. So we're going to I'm going to take a break from this case, and then I'm going to hear from you, Mr. Moldash. This is a holdover from last week.
He says whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Gives the dismissal wave.
So, Mr. Williams, when we were met last week, you had talked about a number of pictures that you wanted to be submitted and viewed. I never saw them. Did they make it to? They never made it to the court file that I saw.
They're submitted. They're pages 26 to 34, and then they're in a quote pages 12 to 16 and 17 to 21 in Ranger Built's quote.
So we've just jumped to another case.
Okay. Oh, I did see that. I've seen those before.
But we might be done quickly, so hold on. There's no verdict yet in the spitting case. We do have another proceeding that's going on right there. So
what I was trying to portray in those pictures is you can see that all the millwork,
like
the door frames, the base floors, all have jerk marks and runs.
Yet,
they were brushed, not spray painted. The shelving should be still white. The shelving is in fact the wall color. And then they show the texture that was spread too early, and you can see the light bouncing off the walls that it shows that the texture was put on unevenly.
I saw that. And Ms. Larson, did you get a chance to review those photos?
So I was able to see the photos, but last week, after he had said that he did not have the contract to the mediator and to you also, he then showed up with the contract. So I was waiting for that to be submitted like you asked him to do, and I didn't see that on there.
Mr. Williams?
That contract was, I think we're having the same problem as last week. It was emailed November 17th, the contract, and my Zillow link that shows all the work that I had to redo. I had to get a new paint job, and then all the work that I did personally that proves that I wanted a professional paint job, and it's not what I got.
Got a paint job issue right in the middle of this.
I didn't see because the last thing I see in the case file was November 12th.
I'm working on the bicoastal song right now.
Well, here's where I'm at there, Mr. Give me just a moment.
Our response was November 17th that those emails have been filed.
Right, I see that. And so how much did you, again, I'm going to look at this up again. You paid on a card and then basically rescinded that. Is that accurate?
That's correct. And if you read the paragraph on pages 35 to 39, it shows that my bank sent all the documents to Miss Larson, and she submitted her own evidence. And then that paragraph explains that she has no bearing in the dispute. It specifically states it in the beginning and the end of that paragraph.
Well, I will tell you, and then you were asking for $10,000. Is that correct there, Ms. Larson?
Right. So up until now, his complaint has been that I didn't do drywall work. And he expected me to retexture and fix every drywall issue on his whole house. Like I said, my thought was that you had instructed him to submit the contract. So, but I know what the contract says, and the contract.
I know we have it. I saw it.
Right. So, so now he's switching over from it being a drywall issue to now it's a quality issue. But my problem is that I've yet to be able to.
So, ma'am, again, I have what I need to make a decision. And so I wanted to know where you get $10,000 from when he rescinded a $5,425 payment. That's my question. I can't, you're breaking up on me.
Credit card payment process.
Credit card.
Thing. And I haven't been able to take important when you're a business.
Can you turn
your
video off and just
because
talk
of this
to me?
debt, so I've been unable to take credit cards.
Okay, go ahead. How is it you need a
Is that
judgment
any
for
better?
$10,000? Yes, better.
So I just put that on open-ended because I was under the impression that that's what you do with civil cases, is that you let the court decide basically the amount, and you ask for the high end. And my reason for asking above the initial amount was because I've been unable to take credit card payments this entire time. So anytime a job has approached me about doing work, when they find out that I can't take credit card payments, they go somewhere else, because a lot of people finance their work through a credit card. So that's a whole portion of work that I'm bypassing and not able to get because I'm not able to process my payments through credit card.
Right. So here's where I'm at there, Ms. Larson and Mr. Williams. Again, there was a fairly brief, one-page contract, paint, prep, paint. And basically that's about it. The things you complain about now, the lack of the mud work or stuff like that, I mean, that wasn't contained in there, and that's why, like I said at the beginning, you need to lay all this stuff out specifically in writing. I will tell you, Mr. Williams, I'm not a big fan of the concept of paying somebody and through a credit card, and then at the end of it, just say, then changing their mind and then rescinding the credit card payment. That kind of leaves Ms. Larson hung out to dry. If you had an issue, way you do it is you do it through legal channels like she did. And
Your
so
Honor.
I am going to find that basically, and again, you may not have been happy with what she did, but she contracted to perform a service. She performed it. You paid for it. And then later on got buyer's remorse and wanted to change your mind. And there's other ways of doing it, but the way to not do it is to just simply cancel your credit card payment. On the other hand, there, Ms. Larson, it doesn't quite work that way where you just, demand $1 million and settle for whatever you get. You have to itemize everything you want to be recovered for. I do find that it was inappropriate for Mr. Williams to essentially cancel that, basically take his money back after he'd already paid you, which caused you a lot of problems. So I'm going to enter a judgment in your favor in the amount that he originally paid you, which is $5,425. I'm also going to award the filing fee, so the total judgment is $5,475. And that'll be my ruling in this case.
Thank you.
And you both are free to go.
Appreciate it.
And now we'll come back to Ms. Duncan and Mr. Moldash. Mr. Moldash, could you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
We've got Bi-Coastal Lady ready for playing too.
I guess where we're at here, it seems to me the big thing is, I mean, the U-Haul rental, that's like $36.
Judge, I'll cover that one.
But it seems to me like the big type and the storage,
that was on her.
I mean, I guess it'd be another issue. But I think the big point of dispute here, as far as I can tell, is, unwrapping the furniture, which led to their damage. So go ahead, but I'm telling you what I'm looking for, but I will go to you you can tell me your whole side of this story. And then if Mr. Haramizia needs to speak, I'll swear him in and hear from him. But I think I already did swear you in, didn't
I? Not me, sir.
No, Mr. Moldash, I'll hear from him first.
Well, it came to my attention this case with, accusing us with furniture damage and all these, claims, which from my point of view, I'm denying because I'm fulfill my contract obligation. And as Ms. Kendall said, we did a great job wrapping and delivering her goods to Tennessee on time without any delay. As an interstate mover, we're using, van lines as well, our company partners, moving company, and we're shipping jobs cross country because it was a small job from same customer. And if customer, she wants like a specific service, like a dedicated truck, avoid any shuttle fee. It's everything in our tariff. We're going to charge for that according to our price list. So regarding the blankets, it's a company property. So we are wrapping and are wrapping upon delivery unless customer purchase these blankets from beginning. According to our price list, everything is, transparent. Each blanket costs $30 per blanket. I cannot, just give these blankets away to any customers because it's company equipment.
So hang on just a second. If I understand you correctly, then that you're saying that, well, it was wrapped up in your company stuff. And so you just it was appropriate for you to take them off at the time. She's saying that she provided her own blankets.
No. There is no own blankets. It's company blankets. Everything is company.
Okay, ma'am,
blankets.
I'll give you a chance, ma'am. I see your hand up, but I let you speak from beginning to end. Let's give him the same courtesy.
So I'm just going through her inventory. Everything is packed by our movers. They're using our company blankets, And when we hand over, to delivery company, we just swapping blankets. We, for example, company give us 20 blankets, we give them 20 blankets, it's a swapping. And all these blankets are not for free. So delivery company, of course, it has a right, to unwrap furniture because it's their blankets now. Unless customer want to purchase blankets on site, if sometimes customers are asking, please, can I keep these blankets? Okay, but you have to pay extra, you have to pay extra according to the price list. And customer saying it was her blankets, but there is no any charge for blankets at all. We never charge her for blankets. She didn't purchase from us from beginning. I have her estimate, I have a bill of lading, everything is signed, inventory, everything. There is no any damages, nothing at all. Everything delivered on time without no problem at all. And we're shipping, cross country, small move. We're shipping through the one lines, semi truck only. It's a Tennessee. It's a long distance move.
Okay.
Once we deliver, our obligation is complete. So she signed inventory, and customer has 9 months to submit the claim to our claim processor company if there is any damages occur during delivery, not post, after a few months, after 1 year, keeping your furniture in storage. I'm not taking responsibility for storage because that is not my facility. She's not keeping her furniture in my storage. So all these concerns supposed to be referred to her storage management about, ventilation and so on and blah, blah, blah. But I did my job. I just complete and I just, collect the payment. Nothing else. There is no any upcharge, no any ballooning, no any, as a customer saying upcharging. There's no, everything according to estimate was given initially. Customer aware about that. Even from initial estimate, we gave you a discount. Everything on paper. Everything on the paper.
What's that?
Everything on the paper. I mean, everything reflect on papers. Bill of lading and initial estimates.
I'm with ASAP Movers. He sounds like he got a
We're
solid
not hiding
story.
anything. It's also absolutely transparent move.
Sounds like she has an issue with her storage unit.
What did you say about the notice requirements? You have to make a claim within 9 months?
Yeah, it's a federal law, Federal law, everything in the bill of lading. Each customer aware in her estimate, initial estimate signed by customer when she's signing with us the contract. Everything in the end she might see for claim processors. There is a claim processor information. It's a standard moving practice, All claims, any complaints, damages, whatever, is supposed to be referred, to claim processor.
All right. Let me hear from Mr. Haramizia.
Yes, sir.
Could you raise your right hand,
Desi.
please? Do you swear and affirm the information testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You can put your hand down. And then, what do you know about all this?
Well, so I was the point of contact for Kendra, Ms. Duncan, for both of the estimates that we did for her moves. We found out about this case yesterday, so we didn't have a chance to submit anything to you, but we do have signed estimates. And that's something that we can send to you for your review.
So I'm going to stop you for a second. When you just found out yesterday, were you just served yesterday?
Yeah. Right, Kazi? That was yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah. Yesterday I told you, Desmond, that we have a court tomorrow.
And that's
because when did you
just
find
got-
out about it, Mr. Koldash?
Um,
So you've known about it.
yeah, I know it. Yeah. Yeah.
When were you served, Kazi?
I need to find a paper, which I received.
I can tell them that. November 4th.
November 4, yeah.
So 3 weeks ago.
That was 17 days ago.
Yeah. And that's what I send you, on WhatsApp, that we have a court. I make a scan and send to you same day.
Okay, it's a good idea. Let me hear from Mr. Haramizia about what. So you found out about it yesterday. What?
Yeah, and so what I have is I have the initial, or Kazi does too, but we have the initial estimates that were e-signed by Miss Duncan. There's no mention of her using her own blankets. I don't recall her using her own blankets in this move. Um, I think it's important to note because in part of her complaint, she suggests that, we overestimated her cubic footage, but we had estimated her initial cubic footage at 814 cubes and ultimately charged her for 708 cubic feet between the two moves. Her initial price on these moves was $59.15, and we ultimately charged her $54.88. So we actually charged less than we had estimated. Um, no mention of the blankets, and it is absolutely standard for a carrier to remove and take their blankets back before they put it into a customer's either house or storage. Now, on both of the estimates, the move was supposed to terminate at 5805 Morning Flower Cove in Memphis, which is a house. That was changed to a storage unit that Miss Duncan chose of her own accord. Um, I don't understand exactly where the requirement to get a U-Haul came from, but what we do is as a carrier, if we're going to be delivering somebody to a location where we cannot get the tractor trailer within a reasonable distance, then we go get a U-Haul, right? Charge the customer $1 per cubic foot for that service. We find a place to park the big truck, we unload the big truck, drive it over. So I could understand that Ms. Duncan may have been advised that she was in danger of that, and you know, uh, I don't know though for sure that that's not something that I was privy to. But on rare occasions, the driver will forego that $1 charge that's in the bill of lading and in the tariff, and just unload the customer's goods into the customer's own U-Haul. So not sure exactly how that came about or why she got the U-Haul before we got there. But I don't know that anyone has mentioned this yet, but I mean, Miss Duncan chose her storage, and these items are not hermetically sealed. We don't seal them, so that no air or dampness could get in. They're covered in blankets, very thick, heavy, moving blankets, but it certainly wouldn't protect them from dampness. As a matter of fact, it would probably be worse to have the items covered in blankets because the blankets would hold that moisture in. Um, I think that's everything I have.
Okay. So Ms. Duncan, I'll come back to you. He just told me that that was your choice to go to that storage unit. Okay, you're muted there. You need to unmute, please.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, now I can, yes.
Okay. It looks like I took off my AirPods. It was my choice to use that storage facility, and much of what Desi has just said is highly inaccurate. So, for one, I was directed by the driver upon his arrival to the storage facility that he was going to be unable to navigate the storage facility in the 18-wheeler, and that he directed me, if I wanted my items, I was going to have to rent a U-Haul box truck, which I did. That was probably phone call number one to Desmond on the day of the move. Now, he remained in constant
Okay, so I'm gonna
contact
stop you for a
with the
second.
driver of
Okay,
the
hold
truck,
it for a second, ma'am.
but
So,
would
but
not
you're
take
entitled,
my calls.
ma'am, let me ask you a
Would
question.
not. I
Ma'am.
can't hear you, Your Honor. Hold on. I
Okay.
can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Okay.
I muted you, Your Honor. Let me finish
Your
my
entitled
story.
tire expense for the U-Haul truck is $36.43.
What? I'm sorry, Your Honor. I could not hear you. Can you hear
The
me?
cost of yes, I can hear you. The cost of the U-Haul was $36.43.
Yes, it was.
Okay, so that's all we're talking about in the U-Haul.
Yes.
I think that's what.
And then, did you ever pick up that truck?
Yes, I picked it up and had to let him drive the truck. and which
But he
means
never
that I
used it.
was accepting his liability. No, he did not use the truck because he, in fact, as public storage, as the manager assured him, you have ample room to take that 18-wheeler down that aisle and stop there. People do it all the time. I know it can be done. And in fact, he did it and did not use the truck, but I had to pay, the fee for the truck.
And you
Anyway.
chose this storage facility?
I did choose the storage facility, but the problem, I'm not in dispute of having two moves. They counted it as two moves. I 2 moves, and I paid the fees on the moves. I'm not in dispute on what was actually moved. There were chairs, there were counter chairs a part of the move. And as you can see, I am not claiming that those things were damaged. I claimed only the things, my leather sofa and my oversized chair and ottoman and my mattresses that were ruined during this move because they were unwrapped. And so they were wrapped in my own personal,
I've heard
because
enough.
I'm sorry, Judge. I'm very pristine, and I have severe allergy and sinus issues. So not only did I purchase, because I had the moving blankets when I moved to Oregon. So because I initially lived down in Oregon and then moved up to Washington. So I had the moving blankets, and I did purchase them at American Freight. They were $5 heavy moving blankets. And so when I got ready to move again, I had those
$5?
things laundered.
Excuse me?
And when the 3 guys came, I said, "Oh, I have my own moving blankets." Showed them the blankets. They wrapped up my items with the blankets and then covered it in very thick, kind of like contractor bag type plastic, but it was on a huge roll, big black, the thick plastic. They did a dynamic job. I was certain there was not going to be any issues, and there would not have been any issues. Again, my other items were all taken, everything was taken to that storage unit. My concerns were, and I decided myself, after having my items brought across the country, 2,000 miles across the country, only to have their agent, the driver and his helper, to unwrap my furniture. If you refer to the voicemail exhibit 7,
I couldn't hear
Desi
that.
says you can't hear me?
I was unable to hear the voicemail.
Okay,
For whatever reason, my computer wouldn't let me hear it.
Okay, well, Desi says in his own voice. And the reason why Desi knew that we were having court today is because I, with full transparency, at the time that I sent my exhibits to the court for this court proceeding, Your Honor, I also sent the same to admin at ASAP Moving. And so that is typically Desi, because Mr. Modash is the point person is in fact Desi. So that's why he is saying that. I was never trying to again, I sent my concern and my complaint about the move. I sent that on the 28th of September, and I'm still gathering information, sir. So while I was waiting for this trial, I looked back through emails, and I did in fact find my initial complaint that I filed on September the 28th with ASAP Moving by email, and I also followed it up by text. And you can see the text, of the email that was sent. And they responded, and they said that they were doing an investigation. Wasn't sure who was responding, if it was Desi responding or if it was Mr. Modash. But in fact, I received a written response, and they said, "Would you give us some time to investigate?" And they bulleted all of the things. And I just sent that over, Your Honor, as exhibit number 8. I sent 2 exhibits just while I was waiting for this time at trial this morning. I
So
I
haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. And I included ASAP Moving so that they would see those things as well.
Well, we're just seeing them right now, and which I still haven't seen. So how long were these things in storage?
these things ended up being in storage from September, and I closed out. So there were 3 storage units that I rented based on what I was told about the moving and the number.
Oh, they're gone. They're gone. They pulled it. They pulled it right now. What? Hang on. It might be there. It might be just having some issues. Oh, they pulled everything. Not fair. Not fair. Now all we have is the song left to go over. Everything from Courtroom 3 is gone. Josh, tell us how it ends. While you're typing up the summary, let's listen to the newest hit, "Bi-Coastal Lady," by our Elbow Band. Hit it, boys and girl.
Bi-coastal lady, half her life in a cardboard box. Vancouver, Washington to a town in Tennessee with lost locks. She paid those movers, wrapped each table like it was gold. Thought her story would be simple, bought and sold. Bi-coastal lady, say it ain't so. They unwrapped your world in a dank dark room where sunlight won't go. You donated every memory, had to buy back your own history. 7,000 reasons on a page that's signed. A bi-coastal lady, this time the damage isn't just fine. Unused U-Haul, sitting quiet in the drive out back. Could have been the lifeboat, instead they let the water in through every crack. Sofa took the mildew, grandma's dresser warped and split. Bi-coastal lady, how much loss can one heart admit? From Vancouver rain to a Tennessee porch light, she's counting every dollar till the wrong gets put right. Bi-coastal lady, you won't let this fade away. 7,000 reasons in one long moving day.
There we go. Little Bi-Coastal Lady. Feel that one. Soul Deep. Soul Deep. That's a good song. That's a good song. All right. Better. Much better than whatever song we made before about spit. So, all right. While we are waiting, if you want to just take a quick peek here, we have assembled most of our team. Speaking of spit, we've assembled most of the team here. Just checking to see if we need to fire off any alerts. Why would the prosecution and the defense come back in the courtroom right now? They return. Oh, Josh gave us an update. They returned December 19th. Mark the calendars. It's going back. We've got some more. If I see the defendant, I'm hitting the music. I'm calling it right here. Watch the door. Watch the door. I think we've got a verdict. Spells spewed saliva at Officer Payne during a simple skirmish over second helpings of sustenance. A sample of the supposed spittle was secured and submitted to the state scientist Megan Fox, who scrupulously scrutinized the suspicious spittle sample. Her sophisticated scientific scrutiny conclusively confirmed Spell's slimy secretion was, indeed, saliva. Spell's sordid spitting spectacle now stains Spell's record and a sinister new charge, surely prolonging his stay in the slammer. There we go. I got most of it. Right. We are back. We believe we have a verdict as the defendant is back in court. I'm pretty sure the jury doesn't have any questions, as this was about as open and shut as one's mouth can be, or excuse me, as a case can be. Sorry, the spittle is flying here. Lots of officers in the courtroom, 4 now instead of the usual 2, which means we might have a verdict here. Prosecution's checking their Instagram feed for likes and follows. Apparently they've got a couple, not bad. Just waiting for the judge now, who'll be stepping in, calling the jury into the room to determine if the defendant is in fact going to have a little longer sentence than he already was serving, because he had a list of bad deeds, including attempted murder. This one going to be probably the least of his offenses if he goes down for this. I know it's not true. I took some liberties there. She said, based on her experience, that she says it would be saliva, but not proven. I hope it's a not guilty. Absolutely love this music. Music is to get your attention. Say, we have a verdict! Neighbor is mowing, I believe, my lawn right outside the window, which I have open so I could hear the FedEx or the UPS man who came during lunch. Do I need to close the window? The officer has a very unique haircut, the one on the far right. It's a sideways mohawk, I think. It looks like a sideways mohawk. Okay, here we go. People coming in.
Court is back in session. You can be seated.
I am sorry to keep you waiting so long. We had a sentencing that was sort of extended. Has the jury reached a verdict?
We have your.
All right, would you please hand it to the bailiff?
My deliberation timer showed 1 hour and 13 minutes, but the jury probably got this under 10.
State of Ohio versus Javon Spells, case number 25CR42442. For the record, all parties and counsel are present. All jurors are in the courtroom. We, the jury, being duly impaneled, sworn, or affirmed, find the defendant, Javon Kenneth Spells, guilty of harassment with a bodily substance as he stands charged in the indictment, dated today's date, signed by all 12 members of the jury. Mr. Goodyear,
the jury?
You know of any reason we should not proceed with sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Spells, you've been found guilty of harassment with a bodily substance. Do you know of any reason why we should not proceed with sentencing, Mr. Guyman?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Anything from the victim?
Judge, she is no longer present, but I think you got a good sense of her feelings during her testimony, how this affected her, and the nature of what took place.
Made her mad.
All right, thank you.
She dropped the F-bomb.
Anything from the state?
Yeah, Judge, I would just say that, as you know, the maximum sentence in this case is 12 months. I think that the main...
12 months? I thought it was years.
Frankly, from the state's perspective, the main goal here should be to make sure that if there's any way to incentivize Mr. Spells not doing this again, that the court should do that. And I think that Mr. Spells has shown no remorse throughout this process, doesn't have any concern whatsoever about what he did to the victim in this case. So the state believes that the proper sentence would be 12 months consecutive to his current prison sentence.
All right, thank you. Mr. Guyman, anything on behalf of Mr. Spells?
Yes, Your Honor. I wouldn't say that exercising a right to the trial is not showing any remorse or somehow having ill will or any bad feelings. I think that we just had a whole trial on this. Of course, well aware of the facts in this case, but I mean, what is undisputed is Mr. Spells was not being aggressive. He was not worked up. He was not being demeaning towards her. He wasn't cussing at her. He wasn't doing anything at her. He was trying to get clarity on why he was being turned around, why he was not able to keep.
Well, he cleared his throat onto the officer.
His reaction was not appropriate. Could have been handled in different fashions, much better fashions. But he walked into a CO who was already very much seemed agitated based on her prior interactions with inmates. He was confused because he hadn't thought he had done anything wrong, and he was trying to get clarity on the situation. And given that kind of tense moment, reacted, Judge.
Can I just say, this is not a good look for the judge, for the defendant.
He's already obviously serving time. He's got quite a bit left on that sentence. I certainly think, obviously, there's been no issues since. She's never had any interaction with him. The entire time she had been here, the correction officer stated, except for this incident. I don't think that Mr. Spells is going to be a problem for her or anybody else while he's incarcerated. We'll just ask the court to take that into consideration, Judge. I do believe any amount of time this court gives Mr. Spells is going to, be a wake-up call for him. Certainly, he's already, like I said, doing a sizable amount of time on these prior matters, Judge. I would submit on that.
All right.
Defendant,
anything, Mr. Spells, you'd like to say, sir? Could you speak up?
I'm not a man of too many words. So, very rare. Whatever y'all push for to proceed with being realized.
Can't hear. Come up. You're either going to have to come up to the podium or you're going to have to speak into the mic right there. But I just
Says
can't
I'm not
hear
a man
you.
of
You just
many
have
words.
to speak up.
I really don't have, I say I'm not a man of too many words. So I know I've been here. I know the seriousness of the risk of my security threat. Taking y'all best precautions with this situation. I know this could have been a verdict beforehand. So there's no hard feelings, man. Everything should be okay.
No hard feelings, everything's okay. All right.
Well, I find that Mr. Spells is not amenable to community control, and prison is necessary to fulfill the purposes and principles of sentencing, including punishment, deterrence, and protection of not only the public but the officers he has to deal with. Probation would not adequately punish, in this case, would seriously demean what happened in the case. I take into consideration that as these cases go, it was more on the milder end, if you can categorize these. Seen much worse. Also, he's been cooperative and polite in the case, and the handling of this case doesn't change what happened, but he has, and I'm taking that into consideration. The maximum sentence is 12 months. The minimum sentence is 6 months. So I'm going to give him some credit for his behavior and order a sentence of 9 months in the case to be served consecutive to the sentence he is currently serving. I find that consecutive sentence is necessary in the case in order to protect the public. I find that his history of criminal conduct demonstrates that consecutive sentences are necessary, and it's not a disproportionate to the seriousness of the offender's conduct and the danger the offender poses to the public. This carries post-release control which is supervision by the adult parole authority. When you finish this sentence, they can supervise you. It's discretionary for a period of up to 2 years. I expect you'll be supervised on your current sentence anyway. But if you were to be placed on post-release control for this sentence and you violated the rules of post-release control, the adult parole authority could send you back for an additional 4.5 months. If you are convicted of a new felony during that 2-year period of supervision, the court that has the new felony case can revoke post-release control, impose whatever time remains on supervision. If you have less than a year remaining on supervision, they can still add a year to the sentence in the new felony case. I'll waive fines and costs due to him being indigent and being incarcerated for several years already. You do have a right to appeal this sentence. You have 30 days from the date the entry is filed, which will be either today or tomorrow, to file a notice of appeal. If you cannot afford an attorney will be appointed to represent you. Any document you need will be provided at no cost. All right, the jury, you have completed your service in this case. On behalf of the public, the citizens of Warren County, I thank you for your service that you've provided. If you would, when you go back into the jury room, wait just a couple of minutes. I'll come back to see if any of you have any questions, and then you'll be free to go. All right, thank you again.
Please rise.
All right, so I think a fair verdict. The judge acknowledging that
Anything else from the
on the
state?
scope of things.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Guyman?
It's not the most
All right,
serious
that's all.
case
Thank you.
that we've ever watched.
So, thank you. Until next time. Yes, sir.
Till next time.
Are you going to talk to them at all? Oh, I mean, I hang around. I don't ever
talk to the jurors afterwards because I know I can read them like a book. But I'll hang around a little bit in case they want autographs or pictures or things like that outside the courtroom. I do a lot of that. But all right, Josh said he had something new for us to watch. Well, we watched last time. You sent us something. We only got half of it. The lesson we learned: don't spit on people. It's the same lesson they taught before you went to kindergarten. Okay, don't spit on people, please. Like these small trails. I love them. I absolutely love them. They're amazing. Josh said he had something. He said there's something happening right now in the 44th District Court. Honorable Derek W. Meineke. Is that it? I want my money back, Josh. 9 months after. Yes, it is concurrent. After the current sentence. So 9 months. Sorry, I said 6. Yes, Candace, I did send it off to Red. So there, I think I can tell everybody, I am very, very cautious. I know a lot of you have made some amazing songs, and I've listened to a ton of them, and you send them to the burner phones like, hey, I've got this one. Can you share it? I'm extremely cautious, and because Suno can copyright strike any song produced with their software that wasn't produced while it was on a paid account. And since they do a free version as well, I just can't risk it. Somebody might say, yeah, it was paid account, or they might have said, yeah, I'm paid, I've got a subscription, but it might have been produced when it wasn't. And I can't risk that to my channel. So I can't play the songs that you send, although you guys have some incredibly talent, and it's a lot of fun. But so I've got to keep it to me. Don't sue me. Yes, don't sue me. It's consecutive. Did I say concurrent? Wagger, thanks for catching that. Suno's not a sponsor. I sponsor them, as a matter of fact, every month. Not as much as I sponsor StreamYard. Wish I didn't have to. It is added to his time. Yes. So he's learned his lesson. He's not going to spit anymore. He's a man of few words and even fewer spittle now. Or even less spittle. All right, Josh, you had sent something. You had sent something, and I'm looking. I don't see them live right now. You said 44th District Court. Is it Derek W. Meineke? The last thing I see is 5 days ago. Oh, there was something 5 hours ago. Hang on. The morning docket. Yeah, he doesn't have any hard feelings, the defendant. I think Josh left. The morning docket is Ari's new pre-stream podcast. They've got an AM docket from today. Just not sure if that's what Josh had in mind. He gone. He's probably out fishing. He probably just stepped away for a while. Josh, come back. We missed you. Let's see. Let's go here. Where were we at? We were right there. Okay, let's go here. Let's kill that awful buzzing sound. I created a song with Suno that literally has the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack in it. Okay, then you can get copyright strikes from two different people. Disney, or whoever owns Pirates of the Caribbean. Isn't Disney? They own everything. He's here. He's here. I'm here. Okay, Josh. Glad you could wake up. Good morning, sunshine. Good to have you here. Was there a verdict in the Movers case? Because it cut out. They killed the feed while we were watching it. They zoinked everything on their channel, which they do periodically. Donald, who called in, said that Illinois, it's a class 2 felony. The one that spit on you got 3 years. This guy got lucky. The Movers case is not finished. I think they're coming back on the 19th of next month, December 19th. Yes, post the emoji recap again. That would be great. Bear, member for 19 months. OG on the jury as well. Thank you very much. Appreciate your support. Let's see. Bree is going to send us the summary. If you missed this little spitting case, you blink and you miss it, but you should probably blink anytime someone spits. What I sent to mod chat. Okay. Oh. Now I have to read mod chat too. Oh, it's a different 44th district. Okay. Hold, please. Oh, this one. 44th district court magistrate. Okay, I've got it.
Yeah, there were several younger attendants that were there, and the one girl, I waved at her, and her wave to me was a "come on in."
We're supposed to go back to
expected,
Kevin?
okay, it's a flat fee when you leave. I mean, I did not see anyone. I didn't hear anyone. My window was down because I was prepared to pay or take a ticket. I had no indication that I was to stop there.
Nobody said stop?
I did not hear any such thing, Your Honor.
But there is signs posted. It's like a $20 fee to park at the entrance.
Correct. Yeah.
Parks Beats and Eats things.
Aren't the other parking structures in Royal Oak set up so that when you go in, you don't pay, but then when you leave, you do pay?
It's only during art speech needs when this happens. There's attendees at the gate at all structures to collect the money. And it's been like that for years.
So those people then that are at the gate that are supposed to collect the money,
they're all volunteers, yes.
they're volunteers, they are not employed by the city.
Go back 1 hour and 7 minutes. Okay, I've got to go back 1 hour and 7 minutes, guys. Let's go back right about here, 1 hour and 10
Zali,
minutes.
Siri, please unmute yourself. Turn on your camera.
Hello.
Well, this is 25 RO06767. The ticket was issued on the 30th of October, about 1:40 in the afternoon, in the area of Royal Oak near southbound Main Street in Pingree. You were cited for speeding. The ticket was issued at 30 and a 25. You can admit or deny responsibility, or you can admit responsibility with an explanation.
In a 25 is the
How
one
do you
after
wish
this
to
one?
proceed, ma'am?
Hello, Your Honor. I was speeding. I didn't know that the speed limit had changed. I was driving, and I believe it was the 35 speed limit. And then when I went to like the other street, it was a lower speed limit, and I was not aware. I didn't know, and so that's when I got pulled over.
Speed limit on Main Street doesn't change.
It changed when I turned onto, I can't remember the exact.
Dwayne speaking. Hello? He hung up. He hung up on me. I called. He said, "Can I speak to Dwayne?" I said, "Let me get him." So hang on. We're going back.
Street where I got pulled over, it was like a lower speed limit from where I was, and I didn't realize that I was speeding. I had no idea.
So if you turn off Woodward to drive down a residential street, you're not going to anticipate the change in the speed limits?
Yeah, I didn't know it was 25 there.
Well, your speed was 40.
Ooh.
And the officer lowered it to 30 to give you a break on the scene.
Yeah.
So you indicated you were speeding and you didn't know it.
Yeah.
But now you do.
And the fine on that is $130.
I was really concerned about the point so that my insurance doesn't go up. Is it possible that I get my point removed and just pay the fee?
No, the court doesn't give the points. I can tell you, however, that the Secretary of State has a program,
a driving program,
whereby a driver with a good driving record has a.
We're going to fast forward.
Mr. Kim's phone, Kevin. Oh, we've got Kevin now.
Okay, this is the one we want. Officer Stokes is here in his duty hat. The only hat's allowed in court, I guess.
Yvonne Allen, please unmute yourself and turn on your camera.
I'm sorry, I am goldfish brained. I've got like 6 things happening at once. My mom was calling me asking
Trying
about...
to figure it out. Camera.
Kevin.
Trying to see how to do it.
Kevin. You can't have lived through COVID and not know how to turn on your camera on Zoom. Come on, Kevin. There we go.
There we go. This is citation 25 RO06219, 6219A, and 6219B. The A ticket, or the first ticket, is driving on expired plates. The second ticket is driving without a proof of insurance. And the third ticket is
he got the trifecta.
Disregarding a traffic signal.
I've done that one.
Was your vehicle insured on the 3rd day of October when you got these tickets?
Before I can even proceed, Your Honor, I have put in for a fair Information Act, Freedom of Information Act, so I can disclose my grounds of appealing this stop itself. It has not been honored. That is fraud. I have given the courts plenty time, the police station plenty time to retrieve all the information of this Freedom of Information
Let's
Act.
understand one thing, sir. You scheduled this hearing.
Yes.
This hearing is happening because you requested it. I'm asking you, was your vehicle insured on the third day of October?
I got all this proof here, but my issue.
You can
here,
answer my question with the one word.
Yes,
yes or no.
It is. Yes,
Okay.
it is. Yes, it
Do
was.
you have a certificate of Michigan no-fault insurance that was effective on the third day of October, 2025?
Yes, I have all of that proof right here.
Where is it?
Right here. Let me see if I can turn my camera. I'm about to try to turn my camera
Okay,
around.
I'm gonna have to zoom out.
Okay.
Sorry.
This is my insurance that was effective for that vehicle on that date. And I just told the officers that
You've moved the thing faster than I can read it, sir.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I've got to zoom out. I can't show this. So
Vehicle. Now I've lost it. Mr. Allen, I think if you speak, the camera will focus on you again.
tell your story while you're showing the picture.
Yeah, so
we still haven't seen the document, sir.
Okay.
That's
I see a 2414 Traverse or Chevy.
Yep.
I can't see the VIN.
Starts with the 1Q.
If you would hold it still, sir, it would really help.
And talk again. Talk and hold still.
Can you move it? Right now, we're seeing the right side of the document, not the whole document.
We're only seeing you, Your Honor. Yeah, the officer.
I can't see it.
Mr. Allen, there is on that document a vehicle identification number.
There it is, boom.
1GNKV.
It ends 452.
We'll start at the beginning.
As does this one. Okay, now can you slide it over where I can see the effective dates?
I can't show you the document because YouTube.
There's no effective dates.
Go to the left. Go to the left a little bit. So that's 10-6.
Ticket is 10-3.
Yeah.
Can you need to speak up, sir, so that the sound of your voice will make the camera focus on you and we can see the document?
Okay. So, Your Honor, I am objecting to this.
I don't care if you're objecting now. I'm trying to read your document that you're proffering.
I'm trying to present it to you. I'm not going against the court proceedings.
I want to see the left side of the document, please.
10-6 to 4/6/2006.
10-6 of 25 to 4/6 of 26. Yeah. You have the one that was in effect 3 days before?
Yes, I've been had this insurance. But my Honor, I'm still trying to have the validity of this traffic stop.
I'm not, you're the one that requested the hearing, sir, and I'm asking you if you have a document that shows that your vehicle was insured on the 3rd day of October. You showed me one that showed it was insured on the 6th day of October.
No, this is a printout of it here.
No.
Your Honor.
Wait a minute, Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen.
Yes.
Do you have a certificate of insurance that covers the date October 3rd of 2025?
I have printed out that this court case is.
I didn't care about the court case you printed. I asked you a document. I've asked you if you have a document. Do you have a document that shows that your vehicle was insured on October 3rd?
I just presented that to you, Your Honor.
You presented something to me that showed it was insured on October 6th.
This was the same information that I had previously. Yeah, he told me, Your Honor, what I asked for is the audio for this stop. because this stop has proven that
We don't need the audio for the stop to determine if your vehicle was insured.
I object to
I've
this
asked
whole
you repeatedly, Mr. Allen.
I object to this proceeding.
Mr. Allen.
I'm not trying to have a difficulty with this proceeding, sir.
You are creating a difficult time for yourself because you're not responding to the questions that I've asked you. Was your vehicle insured on October 3rd?
Yes, I had insurance.
Where is the certificate of insurance that covers that date?
I don't have it with me at this time.
This is the time for the hearing, sir.
Yes. At this time, I got my registration, proof of my registration.
Mr. Allen, I don't care if you've got your birth certificate. All I want to know is where is the certificate of insurance that covers the date October 3rd?
Your Honor, what I've asked for prior to the proceeding.
I didn't ask you for anything.
No, I'm telling you that I cannot produce this information for you because I am having my rights of due process violated on the record, for the record, let the record reflect. I'm here as the authorized representative trying to present you with what
You're not an authorized representative. You're a driver who's been cited for running a red light.
I was traveling and I wanted the proof of this running the red lights what I've asked for, which is the beginning of this stop. So this stop was because he said, and I have it here on the date that I put in for the paperwork for the Freedom of Information Act, which gave you enough time to prove that I ran this light. So my first stance is that my rights of due process is being violated because you all have not presented.
You do not have a right to run a light.
No, sir. I'm stating that I did not
to run a light.
I am guaranteed not to run that red light. I have proof that I did not run that red light.
We've also heard you had proof about being insured, and we haven't seen that either.
No,
where
what
is
I'm
the
saying,
certificate of insurance that covers October 3rd?
What I am objecting, Your Honor.
I don't care if you're objecting. I'm asking you a question.
I
Do you have the certificate of insurance that covers October 3rd?
I only have what I printed out, which was insurance on the vehicle, and I've showed that I have insurance and registration. But before I can proceed forward, I'm asking you to dismiss this case because I don't have you haven't presented the grounds that you have had me underneath.
I don't need to present anything to you, sir.
This gentleman has stated that I ran a red light and I asked for the proof from his dash cam program. He did not prove that. I have proven that I was stopped illegitimately and I have no ways of fighting this case.
You have not proven that, sir.
No, I am saying my statement versus his statement. I did not run a red light, Your Honor. First and foremost, Your Honor.
Let's go back to
hang
on, we're going to take these things one at a time.
It's getting spicy. I'm going to open up a can of Ghost Pepper Ranch.
I'm asking you to stop talking.
Yes, sir. Let me stop
talking. We're going to deal with the tickets. The
Yes.
ticket for no proof of insurance. You've denied responsibility, but you've been unable to show a certificate of insurance that was effective on October 3rd. Instead, you showed a certificate of insurance that was effective on October 6th. It's the finding of this court that you're responsible for that civil infraction, and the fine is $175. Now we can go on to the question of whether or not the license plates on that vehicle were current. Were the plates expired on the car on October 3rd?
The validity of this stop is in question.
He doesn't.
And I'm stating
not
that
the issue.
I cannot defend this case until you present your proof of the validity of this stop. I have put in for the Freedom of Information Act.
I've asked you if did you have a current,
I cannot proceed. I cannot proceed until you all, I am
then
not
we're going to
giving
ask
you
the officer. Officer Stokes, when you stopped this vehicle, was the car plated?
I'm sorry, was the car plated?
Was there a license plate on the car?
Yes, there was.
Was the plate current?
It was not.
When did the plate expire?
August of 2025.
The ticket was issued on the 3rd of October. Mr. Allen, I'm going to ask you again, was your vehicle, was the license plate current when you were stopped?
At what I'm stating, Your Honor, I cannot even protest this stop.
Then you're found responsible.
I would like to.
The officer's testimony remains uncontroverted.
It is being protested because the validity of this stop.
You can protest all day long. You've got the right to protest. You don't have the right to just waste everybody's time, though.
I'm not trying to waste your time. What I'm stating here, Your Honor, I'm asking you, magistrate, will you listen to what I'm stating?
No,
I'm asking you.
The validity of this traffic stop is due to profiling. The gentleman decided to make a false accusation that I ran a red light to pull me over. He stated on camera.
He didn't need that accusation. He doesn't need to make an accusation. You're driving without current plates.
No, he has to prove that I ran a red light with the reason. I have proof
No,
that this
sir, he
officer...
could stop you for driving without current plates.
First off, I told him, and I'm clearly explaining to you, I was not driving at that moment. I was traveling from the dentist's office, and I'm doing this with the rights of travel, and I'm protesting that the validity
But you're
of this
saying you weren't driving at the moment?
I was traveling from the dentist's office.
Were you in a car when you were traveling?
I was in my personal conveyance traveling from the dentist's office.
Were you sitting behind the steering wheel?
Sir, I'm a state citizen, and I'm trying to my best to proclaim my rights to allow you all to do your job as magistrate to validate.
I've done my job.
I need you to validate this officer's means of stopping me. What I have asked for is proof that this officer has followed me through 90 miles an hour on the road to pull up behind me, and I thought there was an emergency, and he slid past the left lane, and he stated that I ran a red light. That is not true. The things that he asked me on camera to present at the time of trial, he said, if you can present insurance and registration, I will make sure I take care of this ticket for you. I presented insurance. I presented insurance and I presented a registration. He said,
no, you did not.
He asked me. I presented insurance.
You presented neither. You presented insurance that was secured 3 days later.
He stated if I present insurance at that time.
Let's deal with the license plates. We've played enough on the insurance.
I have on record, sorry, if you pull up his camera records, that he did not say anything besides if you present insurance and registration at the time of the court case, I will take care of the tickets. And I have that on.
The word then current might have been forgotten by you?
No, I'm sure he stated that if I come and present that I have insurance and registration up to date, valid at the time of the court date, he would take care of the tickets. I have that in his audio. You have not given me a chance to present his audio that stated if I have insurance and registration at the time.
How can you have something in his? Do you have the audio?
I'm requesting this audio, which you all have not, which is fraud. So
I don't have any audio. Don't tell.
Okay.
Wait, are you accusing the court of fraud?
No, I'm saying it is fraud for you all not to give me.
No, we all aren't doing anything. We're just playing around with you as you want to deal with facts other than what's relevant here.
No, what's relevant is
were
that
the plates on your car current when you were stopped? Yes or no?
I have no understanding of this court case besides me being stopped and not having my rights, being a right of due process. I'm asking you all.
Officer Stokes, would you please testify as to the citation that ends 6219B?
Is that
that's the red light?
Okay. Yeah, so I was eastbound 13 mile behind his vehicle. And when we came up to the intersection of eastbound 13 and Campbell, the light was yellow, then turned red, which he proceeded to go through the red light, at which time I activated my overhead lights, went through the intersection and pulled him over probably, I'm going to approximate it, but maybe 50 to 100 feet east of Campbell on 13 mile.
So just north of, just west of that same location at the light before, I got to pull up my printout of where I requested it at, the exact location. This officer had engaged in a high amount of speed to pull up behind me, and I was making a right turn in the construction
Mr. Allen,
area.
I don't care if he's driving a helicopter. The question that we're dealing with is whether or not you ran a red light.
And I'm guaranteed not to run it, and that's why I asked for his dash camera, and I asked for it enough time to present it. And this is the validity of his stop. If he can accuse anyone of doing any traffic infraction to see if they have insurance in place and anything, and then he lies and states, if you have it at the date of the trial, I'll take care of the ticket, and I'll have that on his dash camera as well, and he don't produce any proof that If I have insurance, which I do have insurance, if I have valid registration, which I do have valid registration, he just stated, if you have it at the time of the case, I will take care of the ticket. And that's on his dash camera. He clearly stated. Anything else, me knowing, me telling you anything besides, I literally did not run this light, and I asked for the dash camera to prove it. And I gave you guys enough time to prove this validity of this stop. The stop was a profile stop, and from way to the beginning of Glendale is right past Glendale, the light right east of Glendale, that first light, that officer sped behind me, and I watched him do at least 70 miles an hour to pull up behind me, to pull me over, and to say that I ran a red light, which I know I didn't. Traffic was directly behind me when we went through, and there was a car in front of me. And if I just asked for the dash camera to prove the validity of his stop, because this is the beginning of this whole case, is that the cops have rights to pull me over and to question me or anything due to what his camera showed, and you have not presented that. So you violated my right of due process to even go forward in this case, because you have not presented my Freedom of Information Act, which I again asked for in ahead of time. I can't even protest.
You were driving a vehicle that didn't have a current license plate.
What I'm telling you is,
that's the only reason the officer needed to stop you.
What I'm telling you is, I was traveling, and he made an accusation that I asked to be validated through his camera, and they did not present it. That's why I'm here. And I'm only asking for you all to look at the camera and to see that I didn't run a red light, so I can start fighting these tickets that you're trying to put on me. And then he said to me in his camera, if I present my registration and insurance, he will take care of the ticket. That's also on his audio. I presented
the reference would have been to then current. If you had insurance, but just didn't, stop talking long enough.
Yes, I apologize.
If your vehicle would have been insured and you just didn't have the document, the officer is telling you that if you presented the certificate of insurance, that he would have dismissed it. But he's not telling you that if you go back and get insurance a couple days later, it's going to be okay.
No, that's not what he stated. He stated
even if he did, it wouldn't matter. The citation is what it says. It doesn't say it's a waivable.
What I'm saying is,
Uniform Traffic Citation Form provides for an option of being a waivable ticket. That is not your matter.
Not proceeding in this, not presenting the Freedom of Information Act information I asked for, his dash camera, proof of the validity of the stop, all the way to his things that he asked for. I need that, and that's the only way I can proceed in this case. I'm asking you to dismiss
this. That's not true. Mr. Allen, it is not true.
How can I prove the reason he stopped me? If he stopped me for speeding, sir, and I asked for proof from his dash or anything of speeding, and then you can't prove that, but then all of a sudden you got I had no seatbelt on and all the rest.
No, we're talking about a license plate that's out of date. That is the license plate being less than current justifies any traffic stop. Nobody is going to drive in front of a policeman with no current license plate and not expect to be stopped.
The officer profiled me by speeding up a quarter mile behind me to stop me and then say that I ran a red light, which I did not.
And you're saying that he profiled you because of a racial issue, but you're a quarter mile in front of him and he can tell what your race is. That is absolutely preposterous.
He saw me at the turning light when I made a right. He was at the intersection. When I made my right, he looked at me right in my face, and I turned right, and then he sped up, and I'm asking for that proof that he actually sped behind me to cause me to be pulled over. I did not run no light, so I need to see the proof of that.
Mr. Allen, I will tell you that I do not believe your testimony that you didn't run the light. Whether it's
I have my children
intentional fabrication or not, I'm not addressing. What I am saying is I don't believe the
fact that you didn't run the light. I have no record of having even traffic violations, no problems of speeding, running red lights, or anything of the sort. There was an intersection that had construction at that time. When I started to make the right, I stopped at the light because I was making a right, but there was construction there. I did not make that right. When the light turned right after,
Mr. Allen,
I went straight.
Did you not tell me that you've never had a ticket?
No, I'm saying you don't see me having tickets of running red light, doing anything of that nature.
And you said you don't have tickets for speeding. And you
No,
do have tickets for speeding.
we have all possibly made
You
one
also
or
have
two.
tickets for not having insurance when you're driving.
Those were new vehicles. That was only when I bought a new vehicle. That was
So
the
it's
one
okay
time
to
I had.
speed if you got a new vehicle, and they're 3 years apart.
No,
Mr.
I'm
Allen,
not authorizing speed.
there's no doubt in my mind, as I sit here, that you ran the red light. There's no doubt in my mind that you did not have your car insured on the 3rd day of October. And there's no doubt in my mind that the plates were not current on your plate on that day. I believe your plates were not current. The fine for the plates is $130. The fine for the no insurance is $175. The fine for running the red light is $150. These can be paid online or by mail or at the courthouse
Well,
counter.
I'm objecting to this, Your Honor. I understand.
That's fine. You have the right to
I
object.
actually
and
told
can
you all
object
that I'm a
anytime you
state
want.
citizen, and you guys have.
We're good.
You hung up on him.
Good.
Can we go back
Was that
to
your
just
last one,
Arts,
Austin?
Beats, and Eats?
I think we spoke about this gentleman last time, William Amsdale. I dismissed all of his charges, but it is showing that he is supposed to be for today.
Okay, we've got two more.
Okay,
We've got two more. Hang on. Little break for a second. Judge comes back. Let's see if it's this one. Okay, we're waiting for somebody to show up. Okay, it's this one. Yeah, there we go. You guys, these Ghost Pepper Ranch Pringles are the best Pringles that have ever been made. I kid you not. They're hot. They're spicy. If you don't like spice, they're not good. But it doesn't. It's not a cumulative heat. It's really good.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. What is your name?
Hello.
Hello.
What is your name?
Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello.
Oh,
What's your name?
no.
Hello.
Go get it. Oh, hurry up, please. Hurry, run.
Hello.
Hello.
What is your name?
Hello.
Leave. Don't leave.
What is your name?
Hush. Don't leave.
I'm
trying to have court.
Don't raise your voice again.
Hello. 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 Please
Hello?
don't leave me. Hurry. What do I do?
What's your name?
Look at that's a fantastic beard.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you now.
What is your name?
Have them send someone with more experience.
Can you hear me now?
Hello.
You've turned off your sound. Unmute yourself, please.
My name is William Amsdale.
I got a stubby little pencil.
I'm not a cat.
Okay, I just rubbed my eye with the ghost pepper. That's not recommended. That was so good. William?
Hello.
What time is your hearing set for, sir?
2:31.
Hush. Now I'm trying to have court.
Okay.
Don't raise your voice again.
Wasn't the ticket dismissed?
I don't know that.
Hello.
Yeah, it was taken off the docket. Can you check?
Oh, okay.
What's the case number? The
My
case number
case-
is on your notice to appear.
Case number is 25R 006 132.
Looks like this was dismissed. Hopefully, file to manage per officer, motion to.
Hello?
dismiss.
Okay.
Officer dismissed it.
The officer dismissed the ticket some
Hello?
time ago.
Okay, thank you.
You are good to go. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello? Hush! Now I'm trying to have court. Don't raise your voice again.
We're not done. We're not done. There's another. This is what a day this judge has had today.
Hello? Hello?
Here we go.
I did that after I got the ticket.
Apocalypse may be upon us.
It's interesting.
Hello?
Back up.
Hello?
Okay, just wait for a second. I'm going to finish these chips. The spice is amazing. Hopefully these aren't a limited edition. Ghost Pepper Ranch. Wow.
When are we going to break for lunch, Judge?
You don't put a diplomatic plate on a hoopty.
Ian would say that he can't taste any heat in them, but they do have just a touch of ghost pepper. You feel it in your eye when you rub your eye after you eat some chips, but the heat doesn't build up. But each one has just got a little boom, and then it's gone. It's perfect. Oh my goodness. Okay, we've got another one about to start. Don't go anywhere. This magistrate's had his hands full today. You can rewind, but here's the thing. If I go back and rewind and play it again, I miss the current one, and they could kill it, and then we don't get the next one. So if you missed it, go back and rewind. Because we're currently capturing this one. Come on, it's got to start
You
here.
don't put a diplomatic plate on a hoopty.
Did I jump back to the
Hello?
beginning? I jumped back to the beginning.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Josh has sent me a picture of who we're looking for. This was the hello one, right?
Goodbye.
Hush!
Okay, so the rest are parking,
I'm
so we
trying to
have to
have
wait
court.
15
Don't
or
raise your
so.
voice again. Hello?
That was this one. That's not the one.
I'm not a cat.
Looking for the guy with the green jacket. That was the hello guy. 28, 26, 25.
Did not read all of the.
This guy. This is the guy we need.
Okay, on September 5th.
There we go. Fixed it. First try. First try. My sides hurt from laughing so hard. That was funny.
Okay, let's see who's been here the longest. Justin Gramke. Mr. Gramke, please unmute.
Oh, unmuted.
Okay.
Here we go.
This is 25P236040. This is a parking ticket that was issued on the 10th day of September of 8:30.
Yes.
For prohibited or improper parking. You can admit or deny responsibility, or you can admit with an explanation. How do you wish to proceed?
Deny.
Ask you to raise your right hands, please. Will you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
I do.
Yes.
Okay, the officer will testify first, please.
Okay, on September 5th, this 10th of this year, up to 20 West 3rd Street. Approximately 8:30 p.m., I spotted a vehicle parked at a bagged off meter. It's a reserved parking tollway zone. He had no permission to park there, and he was just a citation at that time. And if you see in the picture, there's a red bag on the meters. It's a Honda vehicle.
It's a pretty strong case. It was a bagged meter, reserved parking. What do you think it was? Santa Claus gifted him a free parking?
Thank you. Mr. Gramke?
Hello there. Yes, on September 10th, I parked in a normal street parking spot. And yes, the meter was bagged off out of order, but the parking spot was not marked off. So I have been thoroughly reading all of the rules on romy.gov, and it doesn't say any mention about not parking in spots where the meters are out of order. Additionally, I've come across Rule 16 on romy.gov, which states that drivers are permitted to park for free when the meter is not working, which is exactly what happened in this circumstance.
Why do you think this meter wasn't working?
It was bagged off by the local government and saying out of order with the bag.
What did this, you took a picture, but the picture that you took didn't include the verbiage that was on the sign. That's interesting. Is there a reason you didn't want me to see what the sign said?
I'm not aware about the sign. I only took a
picture with a bag that has print on the side. You can see there's print, but you took the picture so I can't read what the print said.
Okay, so I'm not responsible for informing you about the bag. I'm simply taking a picture of the legal parking spot where I was able to park. Now, like I said,
Why do you think you were able to park?
It was a valid parking spot. Only the meter was marked off, sir. Not.
See, now they just pulled it. That's all we get. That's all we get. Oh. Can't win for trying, man. It's 4:20. It's 4:20 somewhere. No, it's actually 20 minutes past the 4 o'clock hour. I think that's a better way I should say that. It has been a day and a half. What a fun day. Aside from the spittle, the drool, the saliva, everything else has been great. We need to get on them a little quicker is what we need. I need to get these lined up faster. Yeah, the courts need to stop pulling the videos. That's the thing. What happens is you've got a lot of courts that, say like Judge Simpson, doesn't like going viral. He doesn't like being on TV. So because of that, he sets his videos to as soon as he stops being live, he used to set them as soon as he kills the live stream, it deletes the whole video. That's what this judge does as well. And I see Steam on RA's PC. Oh, yes, you do. You do see Steam. My kids are using Minecraft on that one. That's one of the things they want to play. I thought you were saying it was like overheating, but no. It's been a good cleanser for our brains. We need to do this more often. I'm going to bounce out my hubs with the basement. Red Pen, thank you so much. It's been a great day. To all the mods, Josh, Red Pen, Amber, Samantha, everybody who's been here today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think we're going to wrap it up and call it a day. It's 4:20. Well, it's not. It's now it's 4:22, but just need one more laugh. Oh. I'm going to try to figure out my computer and try to load all the software that we need to have on it. So that's my evening. Might have some sound bites in there. I'm thinking a couple that we heard. Judge saying I don't care if he was driving a helicopter. That was pretty good. We've got the hello, hello, hellos. That was probably the best hellos we've had in a long time. This stream is worth a rewatch. Just saying, it definitely is. Thank you all. I realize I realize we have some among us who have had a very hard day. Denisha, we see you. My heart's broken for you. I'm so sorry for your loss. Hopefully the being here together and having a little bit of levity has helped you a little bit today. You'll remain in our prayers, as will your family. I'll end it by saying, tonight when you go home, please hug the ones you love. Smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better. Please stay safe to go live again. Tomorrow morning, we're going to try to find another court. Remember, this is a short week because of the holiday, so there's not a lot of big courts. We don't have a lot of big trials to jump to, so we'll be doing some court hopping. And keep in mind our friends. We've got several that have some heavy things they're going through right now, so keep them in mind in your prayers. Appreciate it. You guys have a good night. We will see you. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye. That's not the one. That's a good drawing, but that's not how we end it. Hang on one second. There we go. We'll see you.